Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, brother Rudy. Shalom, brother Ben Cuevas. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Today I have a discussion with brother Garfield. I have him in the back chat right now. We're going to have a discussion on the topic about Native Americans and being Israelites. So, hope you brothers and sisters enjoy the conversation. So, tune in, share it to your brothers. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. At the brother end. How you doing, brother?
Hey, peace, bro. How you doing?
How you doing, bro? How you doing?
All right. Yeah, glad to be here, man. Glad to hear, glad to learn, glad to see what's really going on, and see what we can agree on.
Yeah, I see. Matter of fact, you could introduce yourself to the audience, who brothers and sisters who don't know who you are. Let you have the floor real quick.
All right, man. Everybody knows me as Garfield, or brother Garfield, and I'm the leader of what's called the Dagger Squad in the conscious community. I'm a part of the overall conscious community with Sauna, the TV, and a couple other platforms. My YouTube is now called Brother Garfield Podcast. You could subscribe. I basically talk about the Bible. I talk about the archaeology, history, anthropology, genetics, linguistics. I don't really get into more of the belief side. I just basically deal with the academic side of the biblical text. All right. The lost tribes. Let me just say this from up front. I don't believe anybody can be a lost tribe of anything. I don't believe that. If you have evidence of this, I mean, I'd love to hear it, but I don't believe anyone can be a lost tribe of Israel. All right. But I'll leave it there. I don't think the biblical Israel is the same as the historical Israel. I think the biblical Israel is basically like a hyperbole, or just a gross exaggeration of what someone wrote years after the kingdom of Israel fell in the Levant. All right. But again, belief is belief, and information outside the Bible is not really based off belief. It's based off what evidence you can find. And I'll definitely see which angle you're coming from, and we could go from there. All right. Peace and love.
Now, for brothers and sisters who don't know the brother Garfield, you go extensively, specifically after One West doctrine. Is that correct, or do you go after Old Testament? What do you usually go after when you talk about the biblical text?
Pretty much people who claim that they are descendants of ancient Israelites, I go after them. Whether they're so I address the people in my community the most. But if there's something that I think is being spread that's not right and exact, I will address it. It doesn't matter which culture it's coming from.
Okay. And you recently had a debate with Sakari, correct? And you guys were debating about their 12 tribe chart.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And do you let the brothers and sisters know when you guys gonna release that video? Because I think I seen a video of Alazar not too long ago talking about that debate, but he didn't.
I think that's what Meta. It's probably gonna be like a month to 2 months from now.
Okay. And what is your main issue with the One West doctrine? Because you know that me and my followers, we really don't subscribe to the One West anymore. I don't know. A lot of people know that I'm responsible for waking up hundreds of Hispanics and natives basically coming out of those camps. You know what I'm saying? And most of my viewers or followers are ex-camp members. So a lot of people are viewing probably right now, or going to view this video, are probably ex-ISUPK, Sakari, and things of that nature. Even IUIC, whatever the case may be.
Let's be honest now. We know ancient people who there was a kingdom called Israel in the Levant. I don't know if you subscribe to that. I really don't, because when we spoke the other day, I mean, you enlightened me and
Yeah.
said some stuff that I'd never heard in my life.
Oh
So
yes.
talking to
Yes.
you is different. Now, the biblical text, I am saying that it's referring to a people that lived in the Levant. You as far as what you said, you don't think anybody crossed over. You think over here in America is
Yes.
what's related to Israel and so forth. All right.
Yes.
So you're
And
saying that the biblical text originated in America. That's what you're saying.
I would say, yes, I would say that what we read in the text, I do have lessons on it about how certain translations, lexicons, or whatever the case may be, all hint at the point of everything existing over here in the Americas. Whether we're talking about animal life, plant life, seed, weather, and things that are the ancestors wrote in the scriptures describing what the land of Israel looked like, does not describe what people claim it is in either in the Levant. And I don't know if you've ever bumped into Black Hebrew Israelites that have been teaching that this is something pretty new. I would say the past 5 years or so, but it is growing in the Black community. They're basically saying that it's not in the Levant area, that is actually in South Africa, in the what is that, Sahari Desert, I believe. I don't know if you ever heard of that before.
No.
Yeah, there's a growing Hebrew Israelite movement, especially on social media, that have been pushing that narrative that Israel is actually in South Africa. Um, so what I usually do with individuals who believe that it's either in the Levant or in Africa is that I bring them straight to the scripture and basically show them what our ancestors basically wrote down about what these locations actually look like. Uh, Great examples when you read in the book of Deuteronomy about, or even in the Old Testament, about how the land of Israel will be left desolate. And I believe in Deuteronomy, it tells you that it will be left like a desert, and also uh, salt, like the ground will be covered in salt, right? Now the question is that when you start looking how our ancestors described the land, and you look at the Levant area, you don't see that. You don't see uh, a land plagued with desert and salt. But places that we claim over here in the Americas, you do see this land. Like a good example of Utah having, which a lot of us would claim is the land of Israel, because just like the land of Israel describes lakes, two lakes that go into a salt lake, that matches perfect with Utah. The mountains, which we read it all throughout the Old Testament, of Moses traveling, whether it's Mount Nebo to Sinai and all these other mountains, they match perfectly with the biblical narrative over here in the Americas, and not so much over there either in Levant or people are claiming South Africa. Good example, the walk from Egypt to Mount Sinai. According to the scripture, it says that uh, it was I believe a 7 day walk or something like that. I believe it was a 7 or 14 day walk. But if you go on Google Maps now and you go from, because we have Google Maps, and you type in to walk from Egypt to what they claim is Mount Sinai over there in the Levant area, it's only I believe a 2.5, 3.5 day trip. So it doesn't even match up with what the Bible says how long it took from them walking to Egypt over there. Like I said, there's many angles that I can attack uh, that doctrine, uh, especially with One West. You know what I'm saying? Because they rely on the KJV, and then Christians who rely on the NIV, Bible dictionary. Like those two, uh, I would say those two translations, I can make the best arguments out of. You know what I'm saying? Because especially in the NIV, it starts talking about things like tar pits. It mentions tar pits, but we all know there's no tar pits nowhere in Africa. First of all, there are no tar pits in Africa. There is no tar pits in Lebanon. 90% of tar pits exist over here in the Americas, especially in the West Coast area, around California and stuff like that. But we read about in what is it, Genesis, 11, Genesis 14, of instances of people getting stuck in these so-called tar pits, you know what I'm saying, and being destroyed by them, whatever the case may be. So, like I said, that's usually how I'll make my arguments. You know what I'm saying? I don't go by names or maps. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can make a map.
All right.
People show me a map
let me ask you this, because I'm not convinced with what you're saying, but let me ask you this. So, do you think the stories of Nebuchadnezzar and Cyrus and the Assyrians involved America?
Like I said, I would say like things like that could have been written in by the enemies, like I said, because they had our records. But now, when it comes to the oral tradition side of what the natives say, like there's a tribe, Massapequa or Massachusetts tribe, as they call them. The chief of that tribe will even tell you that their tribe has a stone that goes back around, I would say, almost 10,000 years ago. And he basically says that that basically the world basically stole the concept of Israel and the chosen seed, whatever the case may be, from the natives. And that
what role does Christians converting Indians and Jews converting Indians play in all of this, though? Why is it you're looking at it from one angle? So you're basically saying that some guy says something and it's 10,000 years ago, so I believe him because he's a Native American. Hold on. Let me finish. This is what I'm saying to you. When I asked you a while ago about Nebuchadnezzar, the Assyrians, and Cyrus, you said, "Oh, well, they could have written this based on." No, bro. This is Levantine history. This ain't got nothing to do with Native Americans, bro. What you're doing is the so unscholarly. This is what I'm trying to say to you. We know there were kings in Israel. We know that we can find them. We find them in archaeology. Take, for example, King Ahaz in Judea. He's in the biblical text. We find King Ahaz. We find King Jehu. We find documents of the Teldan talking about King David. We find all of that stuff in the Levant. So you're saying it's fake. All of that is fake.
No, what I'm saying is, like I said before, according to these translations that these people are coming out with, whether it's the KJV, NIV, the NASB, the things that they're mentioning in their book, or they're talking about specific things that only exist in the Americas. Like I was telling you, so if you're saying that these things happen in the Levant and Abraham and Noah and all this stuff was all in the Levant area or the Middle East area, then you would have to explain why in certain translations it tells you, like I even told you before, in the book of Genesis 6, it tells you that Noah built ark with gopher's wood.
All right. Now, so hold on. Let's stop. Let's stop right there. Let me look up gopher's wood right now. Gopher's wood. Let me look it up right now on my computer so that we could have this conversation. The gopher wood is a term used once in the Bible for the substance from which Noah's ark was built. States that Noah's the Greek Septuagint translated the phrase mentioning gopher wood out of square timber, a symbol of the Latin Vulgate, rendered it smooth out of smooth wood. Believes it was most likely a translation of the Babylonian gosher as cedar beams of the Assyrian Gepara reeds. Considered the Syria Pishak. Okay, many modern English tend to favor cypress, although otherwise the word for cypress in biblical Hebrew is berash. This was exposed by Adam Clark. Gopher Online Etymology Dictionary. Okay. All right, so gopher wood is a term used once in the Bible for the substance from which Noah's ark was built. Genesis 6:14 states that Noah was to build the ark of gopher, more commonly translated as gopher wood, a word not otherwise known in the Bible or in Hebrew, although some English Bibles attempt a translation. Older English translations, including the King James Version, leave it untranslated. The word is unrelated to the name of the North American. Look at this. The word is unrelated to the name of the North American animal known as the gopher. It's not even connected to it, bro.
Bro, what you just said was an animal, But again, gopher, we're talking about gopher's wood, the actual wood that was actually used to build the ark. Now, as you see right here, like I said, anybody can make a quick Google show about where gopher wood is grown. It tells you right here. It
No,
grows
no,
in
no, no, no. You're looking at it
Longstown,
wrong.
Florida.
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
It's
hold
a
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
hold
on,
on.
bro. You're doing it wrong. No, you're doing it backwards. The problem is this is an English rendition in the Bible, but you need to go into the Hebrew to find out what the word is actually
Now, let
saying.
me. I
So hold on,
understand that.
hold on, hold on, hold
Hold
on.
on,
Listen,
no,
listen,
wait.
listen.
Hold on, no. Hold on, real quick. Now
You're being
again,
you're being deceptive, bro. Because
no,
in the
it's
Latin
not.
Vulgate,
It's
it's
not
saying
being.
something else.
It's not being deceptive. Like I said, if um if you're dealing with a Bible believer, because again, I understand that you're not a Bible believer, but like I told you since the beginning, I can use these translations and go against a one West Black Hebrew Israelite or Christian because they hold these words as the word of God. You
No,
know that
that's
to be,
different. But the
but
English
you
is
know,
not the
hold on, but
Hebrew.
you know that
You
to
gotta
be
go into the
true.
language, bro. You have to go into the
Brother,
language.
I understand that. I understand that in a scholarly more level, but I'm showing you that according to Bible believers, people who take these
No,
translations,
so you have to go into the Bible. You have to go into the Hebrew. You have to go into the Greek. You have to, bro. You can't get up and just say,
now we understand these. Now again, we understand this. Now again, this is why I was showing you from the beginning that these are the arguments that you would use against, like I told you, one West and Bible believers, people who believe in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Now, but again, even with your argument you're making, saying that how you just read that has nothing to do with the animal of the gopher, that's perfectly fine. But the end of the day, the KJV and many other translations still has the gopher's wood in the English
all right,
translation, like you said in the English translation.
let's
So
come out,
why is it? But hold on, the
let's come
question
out,
is this. But hold
no,
on,
no,
this
no,
is
no,
the
no.
question. The
Hold on
question
there.
is this: the
All right,
writers of the King James Bible,
okay.
why are they putting in things that only exist in the Americas?
All right, okay.
So
All right, all right. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. The English Standard Version says gopher wood, right? If you read like a different translation, New International Version, it says cypress wood. It says in the let me tell you, let me go down to the a different version. Hold on one second. In the Septuagint, it says an ark of square timber. This is from the Septuagint, which is older. That version, that's a sign, the Codex Sinaiticus. In the hold on, in the Hebrew version, hold on one second here. So there's different versions saying some says cypress wood, some says gopher wood. I think let's look at what the Hebrew actually says and see what and come out of it and see what it actually says. Because I don't see okay, a kind of a strong 1613, a kind of tree wood, the cypress. That's what it says in the in the in the Strongs. The trees wood, cypress wood. So the gopher wood is in English because remember there's a lot of words that don't exist in English that was probably in Hebrew. So when people are translating, sometimes words are changed. So you have to go into the Hebrew. So that's not a good argument. The gopher argument is definitely not a good argument. But anyway, carry on, my brother.
okay, hold on, we'll get into that word. That was in Genesis 6. Hold on. NIV. So you want to say about older versions, right? So you agree with the older versions of the scriptures, right? Meaning the Net Septuagint or the Septuagint being one of the oldest translations, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So in according to the Net Septuagint, right? Hold on. Since you want to talk about older translations, right? Okay. Let me get to it real quick. Where is it? Genesis 11.
In the look at this right here. Can I read something to you real quick?
Hold on, real quick. Hold on.
Let me read this to you real quick. Genesis 6:14 from the actual Septuagint. 13 says, and God said to Noah, the time of all men is coming against me, because the earth has been filled with iniquity from them. And behold, I will corrupt them and the earth, and build yourself an ark of wooden squares. You shall build the ark, and you shall pave it inside and outside with asphalt. So this is the actual Septuagint is saying an ark of wooden squares.
Okay. You see my screen? Let me see. All right. This is from the Net Septuagint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is Genesis 11 and 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'll read up. Verse 1, it says, the whole earth had a common language and a common vocabulary. So this is talking about the Tower of Babel, right? It says, when the people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. It says, then they said to one another, come, let us make brick and bake them thoroughly. They had brick instead of stone and tar instead of mortar. Now, again, tar does not exist nowhere in the land of Israel. Tar does not exist anywhere in Africa. Again, 90% of tar comes from the Americas. Now, again, now I'm going to even the Septuagint. And why is the Septuagint even mentioning things that, again, don't exist in the place that you guys claim Israel is at? And again, I can do, saying, what is it?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You said tar is used. All right.
Yes, in the Net Septuagint.
Let me see if. All right. So tar.
I don't know where you went. Oh, there it is.
Hold on. What verse was that you just read a while ago? Genesis what?
I just read Genesis chapter. Hold on, what's that? Yeah, Genesis 11, 1 through 4. I read verse 3 where it mentions tar.
All right. Look at this. Right. When you read verse 1. In the land of Shinar they dwelt there, and the man said to the neighbor, let us make bricks and bake them with fire. And the plinth was made of stone for them, and the clay was asphalt for them. And they said, behold, let us build ourselves a city, a tower whose head is up to the sky. So you're saying you're reading from the Septuagint, and I'm reading from the Septuagint right here. Don't say that.
Yeah. What version of Septuagint you're reading?
I'm reading the sweet Septuagint, which is hold on a second here.
Well, I would suggest you read the Net Septuagint. The Net Septuagint and the Brenton Septuagint, I would say is more scholarly accurate.
Hold on. This is fine. This is actually fine. This is with Bible Hub.
Okay.
This is actually fine. This is the actual Hebrew and the translation in English.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm telling you, bro, if you trace the root of the words, some of those words that they're using is just because of English. That's all it is. Because a lot of the words that they couldn't find, they would just put words in. So we got to be careful reading the Bible that way. But I mean, besides all of that, though, let me ask you this though: you think Assyria, Cyrus, Nebuchadnezzar, they added that to the biblical text?
No, like I said, we can talk and get into that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go with the biblical narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm just telling you my personal beliefs about how I feel that this is a land of milk and honey. You know what I'm saying? And again, just going by off of oral traditions of just not one tribe, like how you said earlier, it was just one tribe. No, you have many tribes that actually do talk about things of this nature. You have tribes even talking about prophecies of the Bible coming back to us. You have prophecies of even of natives even prophesying about the Book of Mormon. You know what I'm saying? I can show you tribal leaders. And the thing I would say the difference between what I would show you and what other people would show you is that I'm not going to show you just a regular person or, no, I'll show you the chiefs. the storytellers, the record keepers, the elders of these tribes saying it out of their mouths. You know what I'm saying? We have I've shown many videos throughout the years of these chiefs, whatever, from the Navajo, Micmac, the Cheyenne, even Taino. There's even Taino prophecies of us getting the Bible into the land of Puerto Rico, coming back to us. Matter of fact, here's a book by one of the chiefs of the Taino people. Right? It's called "This Is What the Old Ones Say." It's by Chief Joseph Riverwind. He's a Taino chief from the Jaguar tribe. And in this book, what's so beautiful about this book is that he talks about stories that he gathered from other chiefs, medicine men, and things of that nature during powwows, from like the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Cherokee, and things of that nature, and how they tell about stories of their oral traditions that line up perfectly with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we can show all that evidence. We show this evidence all the time, you know. So it's not just about a guy just saying this, and not even that. We even have groups in South America that even came out before One West that were teaching that they were Israelites, and they even take it serious. I would say even more serious than One West, because they even have a temple where they have a high priest who wears the ephod and everything. They do burnt offerings even to this day in front of their temples, and they're pretty deep over there in Peru. They're like over, I believe, it's like over 1 million. One of the elders came on our channel on Ancient Watchmen when I was part of Ancient Watchmen over a year ago to get to talk about their community over there in South America. So there's big movements of.
Let me ask you this, right? There's the Yoruba, the Akan, the Igbo, all these people who are claiming oral traditions, just like how you're saying there's oral traditions, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, would you agree that a lot of people all over the world are claiming Israel and that they are the real Israelites? Would you agree to that?
I would say it's been popping up.
All right. Now, watch this. Now, do you have evidence before Columbus came into the country, before the missionary movements of trying to convert Native Americans to Christianity? Do you have evidence of any form of Israel in America? Israelite?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, go ahead.
This is why when it talks about artifacts, you know what I'm saying? Because we do have like geologists like Scott Walter, and a few others that do test a lot of these artifacts and have tested it with the latest scientific, advancements. And things like the Bakri stone, which some people try to say was a forgery, but this is even talked about on the History Channel. You know what I'm saying? On the History Channel, they even have these type of discussions. And they talk about how the Bakri stone was actually tested to be accurate, not to be false, and that it dates back to around 100 AD. And the linguistics that studied the stone say that the writing system that's on that stone dates even back to around the time of Christ, around 1st century AD. So linguistics and the geologists both agree that that is legitimate. Also, back to like I said, the Taino chief, Chief Joseph, he even wrote a beautiful article who talked about how there were 800 Hebrew stones found in Puerto Rico that was kept by Kenquique Agobana back in the 1400s, who basically dug it under the ground. He tells a beautiful story about it. But the point is that those stones were taken to Israel and examined by I forget her name, some scholars over there in Israel to test out the stones. And they said that those stones contained 3 languages on it, which was Paleo Hebrew, Phoenician, and the third one.
No, my brother. Nobody said that. That's not true, brother. That's
okay.
Not true.
Let's
is
find
not
out.
true.
All right, we'll find out right now. We'll find out.
That is absolutely not true, bro. That is not true. That is totally false. Now, hold on a second. Before you show me that,
No.
Yeah,
Hold on, wait.
I want. You
I'm not
talking
gonna
about the
show it
father?
to
Are
you.
you
I'm
talking
gonna
about the?
hold
Are you
on,
talking? Hold on.
again.
Are
I'm
you
gonna
talking
show
about
you
the
why.
father? Are you talking about the father Nazario stones? Is that what you're talking about? The 800 stones that they found
I'm,
in
I'm a, yes, and again, I'm gonna and again. You can try to disagree with it, but again, there's many
No,
articles on it. But what I'm gonna do for you is show you the article that the chief of the Tainos wrote. Like I said, I could pull
no,
all the articles that.
I don't want the chief of the Taino. I want you to show me that lady in Israel saying that it's Phoenician and Hebrew.
Yes,
That's
all
what I
right.
want
That's
to
what I'm
see.
saying. It's
Show me
in this
that. Yeah, I
article.
want to see that. I want to see
Yes,
that.
we're
I
gonna
want
read
to
it,
see
right?
that.
So, like I said, this is from, like I said, the chief, right? It's 800 stones. The writings of Puerto Rico, right? Authenticated, right? I can see the stone. I'll make sure everybody can read along. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger.
No, listen, hold on. Before you show that, no. Where is it? Where's this article coming from? Which website?
Again, it's from the chief, from
Nope,
Joseph
nope.
Lewin of
I
the
don't want that.
Taino
Nope,
people.
nope. I don't want that, bro. Show me an article that's official. Don't show me from no website that could mix up people words because I have the Hearts magazine. That's an original article that deals with it.
Well,
I don't
sir,
want no.
but again, I understand how you feel about it, but you're asking me about.
No,
Hold on,
no,
wait. You're asking me
no.
about Taino history, and I would like to
No,
show
no,
you
no, no, no,
what our
no,
ancestors
no,
have to say about
no,
it,
no,
and then he's
no.
actually going to quote.
The ancestor can't tell you. You got to show me the scientists that tested it.
That's what
That's how
he's
you do it.
going to. He's
Nope.
going to quote it.
Show me the article from them, bro. Show me a scientific article, not from no paper, no slice and dice. Because there's an article from archaeology-world that is fake. So don't have me on your show and show me some unofficial stuff that is BS. They never said it was Hebrew, bro. I have the official statement from the guy who actually took the stones to them, Ramos. That is not true, bro. It's simply not true.
You're talking about this individual right here. And again, in this video, the
Hold
person
on,
that
hold
you
on, hold
just
on,
talked.
hold on.
Wait, no. Since you want to
Hold on,
talk,
hold on, hold on, hold on,
now
hold
is
on,
the
hold on, hold on a
person
second.
that
Hold
you
on a
just
second. Hold on
quoted,
a
that you
second.
just
Hold
said,
on a second. Hold on
Ramos.
a second.
This is him saying it. No. Now
Hold on, hold
you're
on,
gonna
hold on,
listen
hold on,
to
hold on, hold
now
on,
you're
hold
gonna
on.
even listen to
Yes,
Ramos say it out of his mouth, and
I do.
then
Bro,
you're gonna read.
it doesn't say there's any, bro. I have the article, the scholarly articles and the printouts. I have
I
them.
understand, brother. I understand. You know, what I'm saying again. You're not a
You see, this
scholar,
is
okay? Let's get that straight.
all right,
But
hold on a
what
second.
again? What
Hold on
we're
a
not
second.
going to
Hold on
do
a
is
second.
put people try to
Hold on
go
one second.
against the
No,
Taino people and the
I'm not
Taino
putting
culture,
anybody.
because again,
I'm using Ramos. I'm using him.
oh my,
That's the guy who
again,
found
it's
them.
not even. But Garfield, it's not even just about that. It's about the stones itself, about our Taino history,
The stones are
about
fine.
those stones.
There's nothing,
Now, again, hold on.
wrong.
There's nothing. Hold on. There's nothing an outside source can tell you about Taino history other than the Taino people.
All right. Can I ask you one
So you
question?
have to go by what the Taino history.
Can I
You
ask you
have
one
to go by
question?
what the Taino history talks
All
about
right.
the stones.
How old are the stones?
According to what they were dating in Israel, they dated it to about 900 BC, around the time of King Solomon.
All right. Now watch this. Right now, would you agree? And I'm going to show something on the screen real quick. Can I just show this on the screen real quick? Let me show this.
Hold on. It's funny. No, it's funny because this is the guy that you said, Professor Rodriguez Ramos.
Yes.
No, hold on. I know what I find funny, Garfield. You said you came in here to learn, but it doesn't seem like you came here to learn.
No,
and actually
because what you're doing, bro.
What I'm going to do for you is show you what the professor who was talking about the stone says what it is. But then again, the article is going to continue
But this article tells you what they're saying. Ramos tested in Egypt. Why don't you go to the Hearts article that has the primary evidence of what they actually said with the research? That's all I'm telling you. I'm showing you the pictures of Ramos. Look at my screen that I'm sharing. Post my screen and look at what I'm showing. I'm showing the same person that you're showing. Now, originally, I got to be fair. Originally, he found the stones and said, listen, we're going to research them and I need to falsify this. He said there's several theories.
Do you know who that lady is? Do you know who that lady is standing next to him?
Hold on. I'm going to show it in the article. Her name. I have her name and everything.
Do you know who that lady is that's standing next to him?
As far as what? As far as what?
Do you know who she is?
She's the one that tested the stuff in Israel.
Exactly.
All right.
That's the
All right. Now
exactly
watch
that
this. Now watch
article
this.
that
Now watch
hold on,
this.
that many
Now watch this.
articles.
Now watch this. Now watch this. Now watch this. Hold on. Don't say anything. Let the article speak for itself. Her name is Dr. Iris Groman Yaroslavsky. Now look at this. This is him.
No. Can you scroll up?
This
Can you scroll
theory.
up, sir?
Hold
No.
on,
Can you
hold on,
scroll
hold
up
on, hold
all
on.
the way up? No, scroll all the way up so we can see the article.
Yeah, this is from Hearts magazine, right? This is all the way from Hearts, right here. Hold on, let me scroll all the way up. Ancient trove may attest to lost civilization in Puerto Rico. The University of Haifa used Weir Lab called in to verify hidden cache of ancient figurines, proving they really are pre-Columbian. Now look at this now. Now look at this. Look at this, right? This is the stuff, the stones and all that stuff. The lady in the lab is called Iris Groman Yaroslavsky, right? Am I correct? And the guy's name is Professor Renil Rodriguez Ramos of the University of Puerto Rico at Utuado. All right. Now look at what he says. I'm gonna scroll down to the most important parts. That's both of them right here in Israel taking pictures. Now look at this. Early detractors had charged that Nazario could have faked them himself, talking about the stones. He would die in 1919. Given the inexplicable nature of the statues, origin theories had abounded. Nazario himself postulated that they had been carved by the descendant of the 10 lost tribes. This is Nazario. Now watch this. Because he thought to recognize Hebrew or Chaldean letters in the inscriptions. Now look at this. Look at what Rodriguez says. The same guy you're talking about. This theory did not win acceptance. 10 tribes? No. Rodriguez Ramos tells Harrods, he explains that Christopher Rolston, an expert in ancient languages of the Levant, including Hebrew and Phoenician, suggests that ostensibly similarities might be observed here and there, but the structures of the writing systems are fundamentally different. The statute inscriptions contain at least 15 to 20 different symbols engraved in different arrangements. Rodriguez Ramos says, adding, we are in the presence of an annotation system that has never been documented so far. Though most scholars had shrugged the collection off as forgeries, the figurine stayed in his mind. Following completion of his doctoral studies in indigenous Caribbean stoneware, hold on a second. Let me just scroll down to the most important part. Hold on 1 second. This is where they said it dates from 900 BC to 900. They're using carbon dating.
So you said they dated it to what?
900 BC to 900 AD.
So you agree that that's what they dated these stones to, right? Correct?
The radiocarbon dating, yes, from 900
right,
BC to 900 AD.
All right, go ahead.
All right, look at this now. So who along this timeline called the mysterious figurines? He says, we do not know. The carbon dating span is wide, and the only point of reference is the style of carving and the inscriptions, which have no parallel. Look at this now. They show no sign of being the product of the 10 tribes, Phoenician, Greeks, or any other boat of ancient Levantines that got very lost. Let me repeat that. They show no sign, hold on, of being the product.
No, I think you're being very disingenuous.
Phoenician, Greeks, or any other boat of ancient Levantines, they got very lost. Nor do they seem similar to anything originating in the mainland South America. It seems they were manufactured by a civilization unknown to history. I didn't say that. I never said that. That's what the expert said. I'm not an expert. You're not an expert. So you saying, so go ahead now, brother. What do you got to say now? Let me stop sharing.
All right, thank you. Now let's go back. Now let's go learn what Taino history has to say about the stones. Because again, nobody could say that those stones are fake when you have Taino history.
They never said it's fake. They never said it's fake.
I understand that. You say it dates back to 900 AD. And again, all that thing disagree with is with the theory of the 10 lost tribes. And the reason why it disagrees.
It disagrees with the writing. You're lying, bro.
I agree.
No.
I agree.
You're lying, bro. You're lying.
You just read.
It says it has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with Hebrew, Greek, or Phoenician.
All right,
that's what it has nothing to do with the language.
Okay. Well, again, we'll find out. Like I said, we'll find out. Right now, you brought up. He dropped off. I don't know. The brother dropped off, right? But again, this is the problem with brothers like him. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, look, we got the scholars. But why don't you hear it from the horse's mouth? Now, again, he just read an article about about this guy Rodriguez, right? Now, let's hear out of his own mouth what he says. And then after that, like I said, let's teach the brother some Taino traditions or history, right? About those stones, right? Let me share it. Let's hear first what he has to say.
Nos encontramos con el profesor de arqueología de la Universidad de Puerto Rico de Guam, Reniel Rodríguez. Reniel, ¿cómo se encuentra usted hoy?
Saludos, muy bien.
Queríamos hacerle una preguntita. Brevemente, ¿qué son las piedras del Padre Nazario?
Pues las piedras del Padre Nazario son un conjunto de objetos que se encontraron a finales del siglo XIX por un sacerdote que se llamaba Nazario y Cancel en el pueblo de Guayanilla. Entonces, pues, él recibió la noticia de esas piedras de una anciana que se estaba muriendo.
Hold on real quick. This is not really fair because it's in Spanish, and I know the brother Garfield doesn't speak Spanish.
What's the date on the video? What's the date on the video? When was this video made? Because this is important.
Okay. I'll have to go to the actual site. Let me see. I don't know, but like I said, right now, the video is part of the article. But like I said, it's not fair that he's speaking Spanish, so I'm not going to even play it for you. But I will teach you Taino history about these stones and who these stones actually belong to, and who actually hid these stones right away. And it says, and you're going to find something pretty interesting about this. This is again from Chief Joseph, who wrote about this. And he says, growing up in the mountains of Boricua, Puerto Rico, my grandfather told me about some very unique stones, which were part of the ancient Taino history. These rare stones were in care of one of the greatest principal chiefs, Kenquique Agobana, who, when Columbus stumbled across our Taino people in 1492, was the principal chief of my home island of Boricuan, Puerto Rico. Knowledge of these stones first came to the light when a very sick Taino woman who had tried everything from indigenous herbal remedies to ceremonies laid on her deathbed, compelled to tell a secret her family had carried for generations. She sent runners to find someone in the church who would listen. When she chose the church, we'll never know, but a monk named Jose Maria Nazario y Casel came to her bedside. With this elder revealed to this monk, changed the historical narrative of our precious island. There in her tiny barrio, thatched roof home, the monk interceded for the old woman's healing. Then she told him her family secret, a secret that went back to the time of Kenquique Agobana, the principal chief of Puerto Rico. The Taino Indian name for Puerto Rico, which name is the house of the great and valiant Lord. Her secret revealed where to find the hidden stash of stones, figurines, inscribed in strange symbols, and carvings and ancient people that some called Hibaro. Now, I don't know, Garfield, if you know, I think his name is Dr. Clark. Is that the one that he made how do you say, a lesson talking about the ancient Hibaros that were in the Egyptian walls, right? Now, what I found fascinating about this is that this is a Puerto Rican culture about calling people Hibaros or Hibaras. And this is what you would call mountain men or countrymen in Puerto Rico, if you're not aware of that. Garfield, right? But in this article, you know, the chief is bringing it up about who these Jibaros were, right? And it says that were called Hebrews, who lived in the mountains of the island and still have descendants who call themselves by this name to this day. Nazario had been educated at the University of Salamanca. He studied and had included ancient languages, and he was amazed at what he saw. After comparing the writing of the stones to others from around the world, he came to the conclusion that the writing was some form of ancient Hebrew. Because of his religious background, he fueled the possibility that the remnant of the lost tribes had settled to the island. In 1893, Nazario wrote a short article titled, not even going to try it because I don't speak Spanish, in which he explained in his interpretation of these carvings. After a thorough analysis of the stones and their inscription, he dismissed an Arawak Taino language origin. And by 1897, he concluded that the writings were more reminiscent of ancient Hebrew. Comparing the discovery with the spoken Taino language of his day, Nazario discerned words in the Taino Arawak language that were Semitic in origin and pronunciation. One example is the Taino name for the Supreme Spirit, Yahya. By comparison, the God of the monotheistic Hebrew culture is known by the abbreviated form of his sacred name, Yah. Modern-day Taino people say that Kenkique Aguabana kept this collection of inscribed stones safeguarded on the island and buried them, fearing that the Spanish conquistadors might find them. They remain hidden they remain hidden in the earth for over 400 years, until the dying Taino elder Juana Morales told Nazario about the stones and where to find them. It was well known on the island that Juan Morales was the last descendant of the principal chief Acobana. Her story is still told among the mountain people of the interior of the island, who still identify as Jibaros, a word that in Taino means people of the mountains, but which bear a strange resemblance to the word Hebrew. During the 19th and 20th century, Agobana's library had been exhibited to the public several times and examined by expert scholars of high reputation who speculated that the writing was a form of Hebrew. Many scholars agree that they could not be forgery. Some even theorize that the writing predate Mayan and Inca writing systems. In 2012, interest gained traction. By 2019, it had petite global curiosity in the Middle East. New tests were done using spectrometry and X-ray diffraction in Israel. This fascinating story came to the attention of the Zeman Institute of Archaeology at the University of Haifa. Dr. Iris Grumman, the person you just mentioned on Garfield, right? Analysis of 20 of these stones. The doctor's results, based on the patina, revealed that these rocks were not forgery. The results verified that what many scholars had theorized. This added to mounting evidence about the origins of the writing. The stones are inscribed in a language script previously unknown to linguistics, with experts in Phoenician and Proto-Hebrew. Expert linguistics deciphered the writings to be a mixture of Hebrew with a little bit of Phoenician and of an unknown script. Using carbon-14 tests on the red paint found on the stones, they have been dated to approximately 900 BC, about the time of King David, son of Solomon, sent out the ship to Tarsus. Okay, so these stones were actually kept by our chief Agubana, and even again, you have.
I got a question, right? Who said that it was in Hebrew or Phoenician? Who said that? Who said that? Which person?
According to
who? Which particular expert said that?
Well, it doesn't. The article doesn't say specifically who.
You see, that's why that article is makes no sense. This is why I ask you what. Hold on, listen to me carefully, my brother. This is what you do when we're not academics and we're not in the field. You go to somebody who's an expert. So if I'm asking you who said it and you can't tell me who said it, that article means nothing. This is why I told you. What I'm gonna do for you and your audience is I have an English version of a Ramos interview where he actually says it's not Hebrew. Will you accept him That's all I want to know. Will you accept him saying it? Because you're telling me that somebody said it and you can't tell me the person's name. That's not proper research, bro. I could give you Christopher Rolston. Christopher Rolston is the leading epigraphics when it comes to ancient Hebrew, Proto-Hebrew, Hebrew, Phoenician, all of that stuff. That's his expertise. That's why Ramos brought him in. So you have to be fair with coming information to your audience because you just want something to agree with you. What I'm going to do is play a video of Ramos in English.
Go ahead.
And will you accept Ramos saying it's not Hebrew? That's all I want to ask before I play the video.
Go ahead. Show
Will you accept?
Share your screen.
All right, cool. All right, hold on. Let me just get the video, the right video and everything, and just put it down so that you can have it. And I'm gonna inbox you this video so you could have it for your own records. Hold on 1 second here. Let me just find this video here.
Shalom, brother Malak.
Shalom to the family, the panel.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just find the video. It's actually in my inbox, somewhere in my my Facebook inbox. Let me just find it. But as I just said though, what you just read, I mean, I already show you what Ramos said in the Harrods interview. That's who they got the information from the Harrods interview, from Ramos. He had the person who said it was Israel or Hebrew originally. You're right. It was Father Nazario. He's the one that made that claim. A lot of people said it was forgery and all this crap and all that stuff to try to done away with it because there was a lot of false claims with people like Barry Fells and Cyrus Gordon and all these other people. So people are very weird when they said it's an old world writings. So people are always skeptical. But the gentleman in 2001, Ramos, he's the one that dug up the stone and said, yo, we need to investigate this. It seemed kind of weird. So he now starts going to the experts. So people start postulating and making assumptions without actual facts. So what happened is a gentleman came on my show with that same article that you just read. That's why I asked you, who is the person? Because that's the same question I asked him. Who is the expert? Well, experts say X, Y, and Z. Somebody can just make that up. And by the way, you said that they had an article of the Taino people. When did that article come out with the Taino people? The one he spoke about?
That article was written in 2019, like I said, by Chief Joseph.
Okay, so did anybody in his culture write an article before regarding those stones?
No, just the oral tradition about Aquabana having those stones. That's about it.
Okay. Those people saying that Father Nazario had them, or the stones existed?
The stones existed in the Taino. Yes, it existed under Aquabana, Chief Aquabana at that time, around the 1400s, around the time Columbus came. It was in his possession, and he's the one that buried it.
So somebody wrote that, or that's just a part of the oral tradition?
That's part of the oral tradition of yes.
And nobody wrote about this before 2019. Nobody.
Well, I'm sure that yes, these stones were found prior to 2019, but that specific article, like I said, is by the chief. But like I said, there's multiple articles on that. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let me just find this.
So just like you pulled an article, I can easily pull an article.
Yeah, I'm not. No. But if I pull an article, I'm gonna have the experts saying it. I'm not gonna be. It's not gonna be something that I just say out of my just somebody just make up and write an article and say something and I have no scholars behind it. We have to have some. We're not scholars. We're amateurs. So we have to depend on people who are experts in the field to say something and say, okay, so this is a reliable source. What you just read a while ago is definitely not reliable. The first part was, but not the part with about the Hebrew and all that stuff. Hold on 1 second. Let me find this video here. Hold on 1 second here. Let me just find this. Give me 1 second. Give me 2 minutes. I don't know if you're the person on the panel want to say something.
What's up, Malak? You got anything to say real quick? What's good, E-Mac? Our brother. Oh, there it is. Oh, there he is. My fault,
Hey,
Malak.
no, come on. Hey, I just wanted to say something. The doctor you was talking about, the Egyptology, is John Henry Clark, the famous doctor of Egyptology. I get everyone knows him. He's like the most famous person. He's the one who made the commentary on the Hebrews being called Hebrews, later called Jews.
Exactly. And again, those are terms, Garfield, that we still use in the island of Puerto Rico, or Hebrews or Hibaras, which we'll call mountain people, who were the ones that were actually in charge of those stones. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I had another source, but I would have to look into it. How they were saying like the Amuns, which they matter of fact it's him, Dr. Henry Clark. He was referring to the Amuns as Hebrews. Understand? And this is how we trace back far as like the natives from Puerto Rico, or the people who are called Hebrews from Puerto Rico, through this famous Egyptology, um, Dr. Henry Clark. And it's many more other stuff, but I just wanted to share that with you. Hey, matter of fact, I believe Garfield friend Wudaya did a nice video on the Table of Nations as well, showing that who was the Amun, and they were Shemitic, and how they look, their parents, you know, and that's very intriguing as well.
What's good, brother E-Mac? You been quiet, bro.
Yeah, hey, bro. All right, thank you, bro. All right. I'm gonna share the video. It's a video from January 2022, January 8th. All right, it's an interview with Ramos, and I want to share it of him talking. I don't want me and you not experts, and you agree on that, and you would agree that Ramos is the one that's pushing the stones to figure out what they are. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, he's trying to figure out. Yeah, exactly where they're from.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. All right. So let me, and that he's the guy you was gonna play in the Spanish video, right? And he said it's speaking Spanish, so that's not fair. All right. So I have him speaking English. So this is the same guy. And I'm gonna put it on the screen and I'm gonna start playing. Give it like 5 minutes, and he's talking just about the stones. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So let me mute my mic. I don't because I don't want to echo. All right.
To gain expertise from people that didn't have any involvement in terms of Columbus or any religious involvement, thinking about the lost tribes or whatever. And eventually, I brought in somebody that uh, looked at the inscriptions. And I selected this epigrapher, who are the people that study ancient inscriptions. I wanted to work with this epigrapher because he's an expert detecting forgeries of ancient writing, and also because he's an expert. He knows how to read ancient Hebrew. He knows how to read Phoenician. He knows how to read many of the languages that could be either attributed directly or indirectly to people that might be related to lost tribes of Israel, for instance. Right. So what the epigrapher concluded, his name is Chris Ralston from George Washington University. He looked at the stones. He spent a week with me here in Puerto Rico, looking at the collection in detail. And he said first that the inscriptions that you see in the stones are ancient, that the inscriptions seem to denote a form of annotation system, uh, but that the type of writing that is presented here, uh, he thinks is not Hebrew, it's not Phoenician. Uh, he thinks it's an ancient type of writing that developed locally because of the indigenous people engaged in contact with other people that had an established writing system. Mm-hmm. That the writing system these stones have is unknown at present. Which culture or cultures engaged with the indigenous people in the island, we still don't know. That's a question we still need to figure out. But he was very uh, straight in his argument that the stones were not associated, that he, based on his expertise, he could not say that the stones were, presented Hebrew writing. He said that there are some symbols, as you can see here, that seem similar to Hebrew signs, Yeah. But he wasn't, based on the structure of the writing that he sees here, he thinks this is completely different.
All right. So
Okay, so he
this
said
is
that some of them wait, he said that some of them look similar. And can you rewind it again so I can hear who this guy was? He said he was from Washington. Where?
George
What
Washington
college?
University. His name is Christopher Rolston. I'm
Is he
actually in
a
contact with
linguistic
Christopher
expert?
Rolston.
Is he
Yeah,
is
he's
he
a
a
linguistic
linguistic
expert.
expert?
Yes, yes, yes. He
I'm
deals
gonna
with
look this guy up.
Proto-Sinaitic. He deals with Old Hebrew. He deals with Phoenician. He deals with the Old World
What's his name
languages.
again?
He's Christopher Rolston. Rollston.
Again? ROL what?
Christopher Rollston.
Christopher Wilson. He's a professor of Northwest Semitic languages and literature.
Mm-hmm.
So the part where he says that he did find similarities in it, but he says that but it
No,
was
he said
still
some of the symbols might look like
yeah, word
pictograph of ancient but it's
pictograph.
not. It's based on, but it's not. But it's not. That's the key word. It's not. And I'm not saying it. They're saying it. The experts. I'm not an expert. You're not an expert. So the guy Ramos, He's not
So
an
then, well,
expert in linguistics.
so now we want to bring up experts. Okay, so we're talking about experts, right, in
Mhm,
linguistics. So then, why do
mhm.
we have experts in linguistics that say that there are writing systems in Aztec languages, and also in Mexico, you find even ancient languages, even predating the Phoenician and the Hebrew, which is Old Negev, which
Hey,
dates
hey,
around like
bro. Hey,
3500
bro. Hey,
BC.
bro. That might be true. That might be true, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Nazario stones. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking. By the way, too, ancient, the native
Yes, go
Indian,
ahead.
the Native
Keep us on
American
mind.
culture is extremely old.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if there's writing systems that's developed on independently outside of Egypt, Mesopotamia,
But again,
India, and all that stuff. So I'm
but it's
talking
just
about what we're talking about is the Nazario stones. That's all we're
yes.
talking about right now. Nothing else. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to go. I just want to make the point to you that the guy who is in charge of it disagrees with you right now that there are Hebrew stones or Phoenician or Greek or any languages. That's the point that I'm trying to drive home. It's not about me being right or you being wrong or you being right and me being wrong. I am
Mm,
saying I am leaning with what the experts are saying. That's what I'm saying. You could
yeah,
do whatever you want. Don't hear what I say. I'm leaning
yeah,
with the experts. All right.
yeah. I will, and again, I'll get back to you
Do
when
you
I.
want me to send that video to you?
No, it's okay. Like I said, it's on recording, but I'll
All right.
do a more research because, like I said, it's not just that one article that I showed you earlier that just
Mhm.
says that multiple linguistics or scholars said that those were Phoenician writings. Like I said, I just read you from just one article. Now, like I said, I probably do. Like I said, I should do more research on the specifics of these linguistics experts that are saying these things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
But back to the point about from the original argument about Paleo Hebrew and Phoenician writings being found on the American soil
Mhm.
prior to even, like I said, the Assyrian captivity.
Before Columbus. I didn't even go that far, but before
Yeah,
Columbus.
even
So
before.
you
Yes.
said so let's just name them off. You ain't got to show the proof. Just name
No, I'm
them
just
off.
saying, like the back, like the one of
Black Creek Stone.
the
Mhm.
Back Creek Stone. You know, what I'm saying, like I said, that was
Mhm.
tested by a geologist and
I'm
linguistic.
not gonna argue with you about that. Let's go
You
to
know
the
what I'm
next
saying?
one.
You know what I'm saying? You also have the Lost Lunar Stone, which also dates over 2,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you also have um, what was it? The Holy Stone,
In
which
Newark,
is
in
which
Ohio,
is
Ohio. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was found in Ohio. Again, even that artifact was tested by the geologist
Mm-hmm.
who said it was authenticated. And again, these are just old artifacts that predate even well, I would say, yeah, Columbus by at least thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
So we do know that that there were Jews coming over here, and
Oh,
also
Jews are coming over here because of the writings. Am I correct?
writings. Not even just Jews, other nations, because you do have natives who have like Assyrian writings, Egyptian writing type systems.
Let me ask you
Uh,
this: the Assyrian writing thing. What is that? Because I saw a Gorilla Hebrew pull that out. What is that Assyrian
Um,
writing?
yeah, it's from a chief named Joseph from the Wallam tribe. Um, he was found with an Assyrian tablet that dates around 220 BC or something like that.
So chief,
Um,
chief, is he that chief alive or he's just wearing it because
no,
it's been around? So his
no,
name
he's
is
dead.
Chief. You got to inbox me that information. I'd love to see that. I'd
He's
love to
dead.
review that.
He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. I think this happened like in the 1800s. Um, like I said, he was a chief that was found with this Assyrian tablet. You know what I'm saying? And again, that was dated to around 200 and something BC. Then you have, like I said, you have tribes like the Micmac tribe that's around like New York or Maine area. Their writing system is almost like a form of I would say like a broken Egypt hieroglyph type writing system. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you also find Phoenician writings. You even have what is it? The parable stone that was found in Brazil, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Phoenician writing. Like I said, there's plenty of artifacts, man, that that a lot of these geologists have been testing to see if they're real or not using the latest advancements, and they've been coming back to being or a lot of them are coming to be authentic. You know what I'm saying? And this also goes back to the point where I wanted to bring up about the theology, how you say, the theological pressures that the Christian and the Jews had at that time in the 1600s. Because you had people like Adrian Vanderduk, which was like a Dutch lawyer. You had people like Menachem ben Israel, who was a famous Jewish scholar in Europe in the 1600s. And these people had pressure from their communities to basically back up their biblical texts. And this is why you see many writings by like Ethan Smith and all these like explorers, or all these books that that people write about natives, their theories about natives being Israelites. And the reason why things like that was going on is because these people were under pressure to answer the biblical question: who are these people? Who are these people according to your biblical narrative? And this is why we see Jews saying and teaching that we are Israelites. Like I said, Menachem ben Israel was a good example. But here's another, a Jew. I'm very sure you heard of him before. Meir Kursling, right? Which you read about him in the Jewish encyclopedia. About Arzareth, about how he came up, how it kind of leans about giving the opinion about Columbus and how Columbus viewed Arzareth to be the Americas. You know what I'm saying? And in this book also, this Jew talks about how Columbus used the apocrypher, second Esdras, first, second Esdras, to make those arguments. Also in this book, I'm very sure you heard of this book too, The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. I'm very sure you've heard this book plenty of times. But this book also backs it up about how obsessed Columbus was with the apocrypher books, and used it to convince the queen of the queen of Spain to fund his voyage by using the Bible, saying, hey, look, there's land that hasn't been discovered, there's people over here that haven't been discovered. And both those books that I just showed you also talk about many of the Jews that came with Columbus. A lot of people don't even know that. Even many Jews came on the voyage with Columbus over here.
All right, cool.
If you have something.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's 8:57. It's kind of. I've been on here long enough, but I'm good, man. We had a good small discussion, but I mean, it's all good. I want to say thank you for having me on, and I learned a lot. All right, but peace and love, and we'll inbox each other, man. If I need to learn anything else, and we go from there.
Yeah. Like I said, I would have loved to show you more of the oral traditions of the the natives. Whenever, like I said, if they're on my channel, you can see the chiefs and everything saying it out of their own mouth, out of the horse's mouth. Because like I said, this thought is one of the big reasons why Black Hebrew Israelites or One West, they don't like what I'm bringing out. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to their scripture and what they consider to be the word of God. Now, I understand your arguments because you're more of you're trying to come more of a scholarly type of approach, because you don't believe in the scriptures, so you're not really held down to the scriptures or your translation that you believe in.
Okay. All right, man. So peace and love, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
Shalom, brother Malak, brother Emac. What's good? I know Emac is at work.
Shalom. That was good, man. I was good, my brother. That was a good, good conversation. I thought you was gonna bring up like the Navajo grandmoms, you know what I'm saying, the testimonies of how we came from the Far East,
Oh yeah. So I was waiting for him to try to bring up stuff like that, like proof of us coming from the East. And I was going to share him some books, and like you said, those videos of elders saying how we came from the East and stuff like that. That's what I was saying,
Yeah.
But I guess he wanted to just stick into that one subject real quick.
Yeah. Come, probably he wasn't prepared, and it's a discussion, so it's a good thing. You know, it was a respectable thing. And um, I really man, wanted to talk to him just to be like, hey man, that was a nice video because the last video he did, it was kind of good, man. You know, like the one he was just showing like the Syrians and you know, and he was saying like a lot of the Southern Kingdom brothers, or a lot of the so-called African Americans are not Israelites, and he was comparing them. You know, it was a good thing that he brought that up because this is something no one preaches but us, like the Northern Kingdom, like the Syrians, like that.
Yeah.
And mainly you, when you know what I'm saying, back in the days when you brought that up, you know. But it was a good conversation, man. Respectable, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, at the end of the thing is that, you know, he was trying to put, you know, over oral traditions and, you know, history of people and try to use, you know, outside sources to try to, you know, debunk it. And again, this is the dangers. And this is why I showed you, you know, why our chiefs say what they say about how they take it as disrespect, that they try to use, you know, uh, other people, or, you know, try to discredit them, uh, you know, our own history. You know what I'm saying? I think anybody would find that to be disrespectful, you know, when it comes to stuff like that. So that's why, you know, I read him the article, because, you know, had to teach him about, you know, who was it, you know, who had control of these stones and things of that nature, when it was buried, you know, and again, what if you notice what he kind of, you know, when he asked about, you know, who's he, did say that friar who was into the Hebrews, you know, said that according to the writings from what he even studied, he said that he was Hebrew. So that right there would have been, you know, an expert on it. You know what I'm saying? Who else better than an expert than, you know, so-called, you know, believer, or especially a friar or a priest from a church, right? That basically studies the
Yeah.
language. That studies the
Yep.
language. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
He was
So
the
I
first
understand, you
pope. He
know.
was one of the first Catholics. But
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, he's gonna have to be stuck, because, like I said about the Bakri stone and stuff like that. So even if he was even trying to discredit you know, the stones of Puerto Rico, it still doesn't discredit all the other Hebrew writings, or Phoenician writings, or Egyptian writings, Syrian writings that are found over here in the Americas, that have been backed up by linguistics and scholars and geologists and things of that nature. You know,
I thought
Yo,
you
but
had the
what up,
video.
son?
Okay.
what's good, Emac?
Yo, what up, Native Warrior and Malak. Chilling, dog.
Good,
I
Matt.
heard a little bit of it. I didn't get to hear the ending part though. Where he go?
I guess he had to do something else. Yeah, he had to do something else. Yeah, but I didn't even really get into the stuff that I really wanted to talk about. But, you know, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? That he, you know, he wanted to stay on that one point. He did make a good point about how the article didn't get specifics about what linguistics said it, but it still doesn't change the fact that there are linguistics that said it. Why would these articles risk their reputation of saying these things if these things weren't accurate, or true?
Con. One thing I was gonna tell you is that I think I shared with you that video, right, with Dr. Henry Clark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it with you like that. You can have it on hand like that. When somebody says something, you can put him right there on front deck. One thing that I did brought up, I said, look, Garfield, your friend in Wadaya, who is an Egyptologist, he brought up the fact that the Amu was Shemitics, right? And these was
Oh, I got that video. I had that video. Hold on. I
yeah.
got it.
And matter of fact, but you know what? Vega, what Zaya was doing is proving the table of nations, showing who's the Shemitics, right? Or showing who was the Amu, right? And then Dr. Henry Clark is confirming that the Amu were called the Hebaros. You know what I'm saying? So it was nice if you could have put that together. But I mean, I was waiting for you to get into the scriptures as well, but you prove your point towards the end, saying that he don't believe that much in the scriptures. So you know, it was you did great, my brother, man. You did great, my
But
brother.
yeah, but like I said, it wasn't anything too serious, because I wanted to really get into, like, how he came from the east, and even like you said in the scriptures, and if you notice, saying, he did what I told, most people, they always love to do. When I told them, and I tell people this all the time, I was like, yo, according to translations, meaning people who believe in the Bible to be the word of God, you know what I'm saying? But you saw his argument, oh, but you got to go to the Hebrew. Yeah, but if you deal with a One West, do you think they like that? No, One West, they'll tell you that, you stick to the KJV. They don't really care about what the Hebrew says, because according to them, they'll tell you, oh, the Hebrew, that's according to James Strong's or white man, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So, people make arguments all the time. But the thing is that we stick to the criteria of what these people believe. And if you want to destroy what these people believe, because that's what Garfield's aiming at, then he has to attack their belief. You see what I'm saying? If you bring up stuff that they don't believe in, you're not ever going to persuade that the person that you're having that build with. If you want to destroy that One West doctrine, you have to destroy their book, the book that they subscribe to, just like I did with Yehudium, the so-called champion of the Lion's Den. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point, everybody saw it. He used to believe in the KJV. He said that he used to be, this is the word of God. Oh, this is the word of God. But what did I do? I showed him the Quran. I showed him the Noah argument. I showed him all these arguments about how his KJV is saying that, mentioning stuff that only exists in America. What did Yehudium do? Took that KJV and threw it in the trash. That's how you have to defeat believers. And that's why I was trying to show Garfield, try to explain it to him, though, because I know that's what you do. You try to go against the One West and the Black Hebrew Israelites and all this other stuff. I'm giving you the key to show you how to defeat them, not to try to argue with me, because trust me, if we would have had the discussion and brought it to the Hebrew and the Greek, I have my arguments about that also. That's why I said you should have watched my classes, because I have arguments, translations, lexicons, Hebrew. It don't matter. The net Septuagint, as you saw what I did to him with the net Septuagint, when I brought him to Genesis and show him tar. And again, there is no tar in the Middle East or in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So he was, then you saw he tried to make it a Septuagint argument. Well, if I even asked him, well, what Septuagint you reading from? He named it, and I told him, I read it from the Nets or the Brenington. Even when you do the scholarly research on these translations, it will tell you that the Nets is one of the best scholarly translation for the Septuagint. You see what I'm saying? Greek scholarly. So you have to accept it. So, he really can't, people really can't really get around those type of arguments. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Vega, you know what? What's crazy about it is it's just like vocab. They get at the so-called One West camps, right? So, and then they'll flip it to the natives. Like he got.
You broke up, bro.
He flipped it to the natives. Like if we the ones who saying, look, like if we.
You're breaking up, bro. I don't know if you're on your phone or something.
Give me a second.
Yeah, shalom. Anybody else can join the live if they want. The links on the on the side.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you guys heard it out of Garfield's mouth. He said what he's hearing today is he never heard this type of stuff before. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna have to learn a lot of these arguments. You know what I'm saying? So
what I was trying to say, Vega, is this: Garfield just started to be like vocab. Vocab was getting at the so-called One Westers. Now, and then vocab tried to flip it to the natives. And then now Garfield was getting at the One West camps, and he been getting at them hard. He been proving out some good stuff. But now he flipped it on the natives. And I'm like, what? And I know a lot of brothers inbox you. I inbox you myself. I was like, yo, Vega, man, what's up? It's time you step it up, brother. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this: where do you see the natives trying to, act all crazy or scream at, you know what I'm saying, or just like you believe salvation is for anyone. I believe salvation to come to anyone as well. So you feel me? Like, what would be the purpose of? I text them and asked them that. I said, what is the purpose of you trying to get at like the natives now? You know what I'm saying? And I understand his argument, but like far as us, like we didn't even basically we're not even trying to debate these guys. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking like, what's the whole purpose? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what it is. 'Cause like I said, he did a debate with Gorilla Hebrew, and I'm very sure many of the sources that they were trying to use were from native sources. You see what I'm saying? So I'm very sure that's the problem that he's having. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably not used to that argument because he's just used to Black Hebrew Israelites talking about their history, their doctrine, and what they believe. And usually when he deals with ISUPK or whatever the case may be, I don't think that they talk about native or native proof in front of him like that. You know, you see what I'm saying? They're too concentrating on trying to teach how blacks are Israelites. So, like I said, he's just not used to that argument. Because, like I said, once we start having those type of discussions, and I'm actually showing him the videos, like you just said, of our elders and chiefs and medicine men, and like I said, even the books that our chiefs have written about other tribes and stuff. They can't get around this argument. We have a way stronger argument than African Americans claim to be Israelites, and they know this. And this is pretty funny because when I used to watch IUIC and even Sakari, when they used to, do their Northern Kingdom lessons, I always used to laugh at them. I'd be like, man, I find it funny how you guys can quote source after source, book after book, pull artifact after artifact, and do all this beautiful work. But why is it that you guys can't do it for the so-called African Americans or Negroes over there in West Africa? Why aren't y'all doing classes like that? And then, I got blocked off of IOIC after I made that comment. You know what I'm saying? But
hey,
but
Vega, one thing you was saying that was great. I mean, you know how the grandma for Navajo was talking about, like, oral tradition is way better than any sources because it's been handled down from generation to generations. Understand? And it's not only like the Navajo grandma, you have, you know what I'm saying, you had Chief Joseph, you know what I'm saying, the Chief Joseph and his forefathers, this the chief talking about that we came from the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But let me show you something real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me just turn the camera around. Okay, and let's see something. Go back. I'm thinking. Can you see it? Can you see it right here?
the book, yeah,
Okay, so this book is Fria Diego de Landa, Yucatan before and after their conquest. This is exactly the same thing that all our forefathers are saying. It says some old men of Yucatan say that they have heard from their ancestors that this country was a people of a certain race who came from the east. So you know what I'm saying? Whom God delivered, second Ezra, check it out. Whom God delivered by by opening the 12 roads through the sea. Through the sea. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
If
Yeah,
this is true, you feel me? This is not just one book. We're not gonna bring out just one source. We got tons
yeah,
of
I know.
sources.
You got. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was telling you, bro. I was waiting for Garfield to try to, ask that question about how does natives get over here, bro. Like you said, you have that book right there. You have the Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramid by Peter Tompkins that talks about how several of the Quichua Mayans wrote in a manuscript of how they came from the East and how they were Israelites. You have the Origins of the American Indians by Lee Eldridge Huddleston, who talks about Diego de Landa, how he said how the natives told him how they even came from the East. You have what is it? The Annuals of the Conquistadors by Adrian. Was it Adrian Ricasinos? Titles of the Lord of the Talacapan by Dianos Jose Cheney. Like, bro, there's multiple sources that talk about natives saying it. And just like you said, even the Navajo elder lady tells you how, even according to the Navajo and even according to the Micmac, when she talks to the Micmac, and even how the Micmac have stories about how they, both of those tribes, also came from the east on boats. And I believe she said that the Micmac said that the boats that they were using were like turtle boats or something like that, like a turtle shell shaped boat or something like that. But here's the video real quick, Malak, of the thing that you were on the live when we shared about that Dr. You said Clark, right?
Yeah, Dr. Henry Clark.
Yeah, hold on, I got it right here.
Shalom, Ben Cuevas.
I'll play it for the people because we played that video for the people that day. Holes to hide these tablets from the Spaniards, bro. Facts. And we brought, and I brought this out a few lives ago. We broke all that down.
Can you play that video now for at least we can hear the testimony from the doctor?
Yeah. Oh, my boy Tommy, join on, bro.
Called migrations from Western Asia. People are going to come in from Western Asia called Hibarus, later called Jews.
Hibarus, later called Jews. Now, when you look into that, man, that goes real deep, but it goes to Puerto Rico. So for you to say that the people in Puerto Rico, to this day, they're called Hibarus, are not Israelites, you got to put the puzzle together, brother. We are them people, brother. I'm sorry, you don't. I mean, I don't even think you believe in the Bible, but I mean, I don't even know why this conversation should be about. You know, I don't even know what's the point of this conversation, Vega. Do you get? I mean, I'm asking you, brother Vega. Do you get something with dialogue with your brother? Because you don't even believe in.
See, but everybody remembers that video. Like I said, me and Malak, we actually brought this out. This is like 6 months ago or something like that when we discussed this, Malak. Malak shared the video. What's his name again? Dr. Clark, right?
Dr. Henry Clark.
Yeah, Dr. Henry Clark. Now, everybody who know this is a scholar that the Black community looks up to and takes serious. I believe the brother, even Garfield, know who this brother is. So yeah, when we were talking about the Hebrews, when I was reading this, again, here's a Black scholar talking about the walls over there in Egypt, talking about these Hebrews, right? And we even brought it out that one time, it was funny that, my wife was here when we were talking about it. And, and my wife's family lived in the mountains in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? My family lived almost by the mountains also. They lived in mostly farmland, whatever. But when we were even having this discussion that day, it was funny that my wife, she was born in Puerto Rico. Her family still lives in Puerto Rico. Her mom, whatever, like I said, still have a house over there. And when she heard us talking about this, she was like, yeah, of course. That's what we call each other over there. Hibaros and we call the women Hibaras, you know what I'm saying? Hibaras and Hibaros, whatever. And I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, that's what you call like the mountain people, whatever the case may be, people from farmers, whatever. So we, that was a beautiful thing that my wife said that while we were actually talking about it that day. You know what I'm saying? So to further back up out that what we're saying is not, is not far-fetched, because this is just what it is. So we have evidence of even mountain men being called Hibaros or Hebrews.
That's right.
Ben
I was
Cuevas,
waiting for you. I was waiting for you to come with the scriptures. I know you be having some good scriptures. You know what I'm saying? What was that Psalms that you said that you proved that?
That's what. Yeah.
Hey,
I was waiting for him to ask me about to prove the Arzrift thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, man, I could play the devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? And show you that I can even break it down better than One West breaks it down. You know what I'm saying? So, what up, Brand?
Man, Cuevas, what's up?
He says, Native Warrior, we would like to hear your story at Black News 102, known as Sinetter Studios. Sinetta Studios. Yeah, I know Sinetta. He's Judah Nazareth, and then I think Ben's having a problem like trying to connect.
Yeah, hey, that's another thing. Vega, I mean, not trying to be biased. That's a good thing that them brothers reached out to you right now. But at the same time, do these brothers really believe in the Bible, man? That's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't believe, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody who just trying to discredit the scriptures, like big time, they just they want to go through sources, but they don't want to go through the Bible. They want to go through everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I even heard Garfield talk about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Bible ain't real. It's a bunch of Canaanites to try to make a tribe together. And they just wanted to call it 12 tribes. I was just like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, it was just like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful when not that you be careful, but even going on Sinetta, you have to find out what is his purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people want to just do this just for clout, and that's not what the scripture is about. You know what I'm saying? Even though Christians been doing it forever.
Yep, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I know this guy says, about Sinetta. It's like at the end of the day, I really don't see a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason I, even engaged with Garfield about it because it's been like an ongoing thing between us for like years. Like I've been knowing Garfield for years. We've been communicating on Facebook. Talking crap to each other. Say whatever the case may be. We always used to talk crap to each other, whatever. But that was the first time. Well, I've been having conversations with him. Even on the phone recently. But I don't know. I think he might feel a certain way after his debate with Sakari. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what made him flip on like you said, like the natives and stuff like that.
Honestly, hey Vega, honestly, I'm not trying to be biased, but I think that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess he's seen us he's seen like natives getting at some other Christians. But what my thing is, we're not over here telling, like, the Gentiles or the Christian, like, oh, y'all ain't gonna be saved. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I believe a certain other thing. You know what I'm saying? Just like you, like they can be like converts. You know what I'm saying? And but I don't know, man. I guess after that debate with he was like, I want all the smoke. I want every. He was saying that all like prideful. I was like, damn, like that. The scriptures talk about knowledge puff up. He should have read that. He should have read that. The knowledge puffed up. I'm like, yo, Garfield, look at that. Knowledge puffed up. Look at that verse right there.
Yeah, because I don't know. Cause I see, from what I've seen from Gorilla's side, it seems like Gorilla's like happy. He's like, yo, I gave Garfield that work, and I can't wait for this to come out and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
My blue one. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Yeah, but honestly, do you believe, Vega? Do you believe in that genetics, DNA? I don't believe in that, bro.
Get the top.
No, like I said, stuff like that.
Get the top.
I feel like there's anybody who claims that they believe in the Bible and try to use genetics clearly don't believe in the Bible because it completely destroys the narrative. Because the biblical narrative by biblical scholars only goes about the time of Adam, only goes about 6,000 years, right? But genetics shows that certain haplogroups actually predate the Bible by thousands, sometimes 70, 50, 100 even thousand years ago. You know what I'm saying? So you can't use genetics in the Bible. I don't even try it.
Hey Vega, you ever heard of Razbi Khan? He's a lead genetic, an ancient ancestry. Everybody talks about him. You know what I'm saying? Even Abu talks about him. But I just put up some videos on my Facebook showing that Razbi Khan's talking about they don't have ancient DNA. They don't even have that in Israel. They say they got some ancient DNA. You know what I'm saying? But then you have to go to the scriptures. That's all I was trying to tell them. Before Israel even get to the land of Canaan, who was there? Canaanites already was there. So if you're going by that ancient, you know what I'm saying? This is why they probably, you know what I'm saying, got this thing, and they pushing that E thing, like oh Israel's E. But you don't know, before Israel was in the land of Canaan, the Canaanites was there. So that's what I mean. Like through the migrations and through the captivities and people moving from land to land, you can't really tell. Like, you know, it's unlogical. You just to say, look, this subclass is Israel. You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Because you just don't know for a fact.
Yeah, and if you notice when we talk about the oral history, he was saying, well, you know, we have Yorubas and we have these people over here in Africa that are also claiming that they're, you know, Israelites and whatever the case may be. And you know, I would say that the biggest difference between us and them is that not only do we have oral traditions, we have the artifacts, we have the books and everything like that to back it up, the claims to back it up, the manuscripts to back it up. They don't.
Over here.
They really don't have any scholarly sources or historians that in the 15, 16, 1400s claiming that they were Israelites. But we do. We can bring out sources going back to the early 1500s.
And you know what, Vega? When you read the Hebrewism of West Africa, right, you see that even the Jews, you know what I'm saying, brung the Torah down there to the west coast of Africa many years way before. You know what I'm saying? Even in the book of Hebrewism of West Africa, it tells you that. So this is how many people from that point, you know what I'm saying, got it. Understand? And far as like a Yoruba or all these villages, you know what I'm saying, these areas down there and west coast of Africa, you know. To say that it wasn't some Hebrews, yes, it was. It could have been some Hebrews down there. You know what I'm saying? We were scattered abroad through everywhere. But when the natives had it, we've been had it way, like, you know what I'm saying? They talking about, like, as far as the transatlantic slave trade was in 15th century, but the natives, we was already here, so ours predate as far as like that movement.
Tommy says this. I don't know why, Tommy, you scared to jump on the line, bro. What's up, Tommy? He says, would oral tradition be considered proof, being that you can make up anything with words, right? Now, I'm going to teach you something about Native American and how we handle our oral traditions. First of all, not all Native this matter of fact, let's just talk about one specific tribe right now, right? Let's talk about Tainos, right? Taino storytellers. What you know about natives is that not all natives are storytellers. There's only a very one or two that get chosen to be storytellers. And the oral traditions that they get passed down, the stories that are told to them, they cannot add nor take away, not even a word. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you a video of Chief Joseph saying that out of his own mouth. Right? Hold on.
And you know what, Vega, as you get that, I wanted to read the scripture real quick, right? Because this is something like Second Ezra right here. It's Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 16. And it says, and I shall scatter them among the nations whom neither they nor their fathers have known. You know what I'm saying? This scriptures in Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 16 says, I will scatter them among the nations whom neither they nor their fathers have known. And, you know, so when these scriptures talk about, you know, that the Most High is going to scatter us where neither our fathers known, you can't say that was just how they be saying that, you know, Second Ezra is pertaining to right there to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because we already knew about Africa, and the forefathers of Israel already knew about Egypt and all that area around there. So when the Most High talk about that, that's a land that we have not known. That goes with Second Ezra. Go ahead, brother. My bad.
Yeah, like I was saying, to the brother Garfield about, you know, even if he was trying to say about the authentic
language of the Egyptians. Both Hebrew and Egyptian are mentioned again at the end as Mormon and Moroni attempt to complete the Book of Mormon records. And then in Mosiah, we learn that Lehi, having been taught in the language of the Egyptians,
Hold on. Let me share the screen.
Pick it
I
up.
had it on.
Grab my belt. You're not doing it fast enough. Pick up your white feet. No eating. Pick up your sweater. Look. Go.
Now, again, here's linguistics, right? Expert, because he wanted linguistic experts about writings in America being, Hebrew and stuff like that. Like I said, we can bring up linguistics we can bring the linguistic argument all the time. Now, here's linguistics right here, who's going to show you his expertise about certain writings about people in Mesoamerica. There's the link. All right, like I said, here's the video.
Could read the engravings on the brass plates.
There is linguistic evidence that ties Mesoamerica to the Near East as well. Brian Stubbs, who is a Latter-day Saint, to linguistic evidence.
Could read the engravings on the brass plates.
There is linguistic evidence that ties Mesoamerica to the Near East as well.
It's on the brass plates.
There is linguistic evidence that ties Mesoamerica to the Near East as well. Brian Stubbs, who is a Latter-day Saint and is an expert in the Uto-Aztecan languages, has been comparing them not just with Hebrew, but with languages cognate to Hebrew, such as Arabic. And he has concluded that there are a lot of remnants of the Hebrew language that one can find in the Uto-Azteco language.
As a linguist, I have found considerable evidence of Hebrew and Egyptian in at least one language family. I have found
that one can find in the Uto-Azteco language.
As a linguist, I have found considerable evidence of Hebrew and.
So here we have it, people, right? This guy named Brian Stubbs, right? From, Eastern Utah, right? Who was in linguistics and tells you that, yes, there are many things in Mesoamerica that resemble the Hebrew writings. Hear it out of your own mouth. You have, like I said, we do have linguistics that back it up.
And Egyptian in at least one language family, Uto-Aztecan. I have not yet published my findings for the linguistic community. The Uto-Aztecan language family is a language, about 30 related languages that are descended from what linguists call Proto-Uto-Aztecan. Their geographic location ranges from Idaho in the north to Mexico City in the south, basically. There are a few dialects in other places. About half of them are in the southwest United States. The other half are in Mexico. Actually, what I find in Uto-Aztecan is two different dialects of Northwest Semitic and quite a bit of Egyptian that has the same sound correspondences as.
Damn, bro. Not only Semitic, but Egyptian. Just like I was telling, Garfield also, saying that you have tribes even like the Micmac. Now, notice this, that what that linguistic was talking about was Mesoamerica. He said from anywhere from Utah to Mexico, right? But Micmac don't, remember, he said some of that writing was Semitic and Egyptian. But the Micmac that come from by New York, Maine, almost Canada area, have a broken hieroglyphic Egyptian writing system also. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just in Mesoamerica or, that you find even Egyptian type writing or block writing. So, like I said, we have the linguistics. Oh, yeah, I was going to say about the Chief Joseph, right? That's right. About the oral history, about how our oral history is passed down, and how serious natives take their storytellers.
Hey, Vega, let me ask you a question. For example, if we mix with ham, right, the genetics change right there too, right? Or is it through the father to father? See, I'm not even really big on none of that haplo. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, yo. I just be like,
it has to go by father to father. You know what I'm saying?
and uh, if it's like that, then Noah, we should all have the same.
Exactly. We should all go to Noah. Yeah, but we all don't descend from Noah, but
And one of the lead genetics, Rosby Kahan, he talking about they don't got like where Abraham from Sumer, from Iraq. He said they don't have ancient DNA from there. So because people be trying to get kidnapped all the time.
Oftentimes is missed is here I'm paraphrasing the stories.
I bet I found the video. Right. So Tommy, you're gonna learn something today about native culture, that we're not allowed to add or take away words, the storytellers of the tribes. And you're going to hear Chief Joseph teach you that today, sir.
That as well, and it's still an upward battle. It's still a fight to get the scientific community to take stock in our oral tradition. One thing that oftentimes is missed is, here I'm paraphrasing the stories, but there are people in the tribes that are chosen from birth to be the story keepers or storytellers or wisdom keepers. When they learn a story, it is word for word. They can't change a word. They can't add a word. They can't add a plural to it. It has to be told the exact same way. So when we're hearing these stories at the ceremonial grounds, we're hearing the story the same way it was told 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. We're hearing the story the same way it was told 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. We're hearing the story the same way it was told 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. That was our people's way of keeping the integrity of the story intact.
And that person.
Hey, you know what, Vega? He's basically, he's basically quoting Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse I think 4, and Proverbs 30, where it says, "Do not add into the words, or do not take away from the words." Yo, that's all through the scriptures. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Khan, what's good, Radio 1? Shalom, bro. Been like over a few months now. What's good? What you been up to?
Yes, peace, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, peace. What's going on, man? What's going on? What's up, Malak? What's up, Ben, Quavis? Jose. Man. It's been a while, man. I've been busy. I've been doing my own thing. So, I wish Garfield had stayed on longer, man, because I wanted to question him about some things, because I had some engagements with Garfield before, and Garfield, I came on his show maybe like 4 or 5 times, and every time he kicked me off, because we got in an argument and he disagreed with me, so he pretty much runs from me all the time. So I think Garfield got a phobia, a fear of me. So but one day I will catch him in the right place at the right time. And we can get it in. But because I saw you guys' engagement. And my problem with Garfield is that he is constantly lying to the people about Ethiopia. And I wanted to question him because he says that we have nothing to do with biblical Ethiopia. And okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, but there's biblical Ethiopia is not the same as historical Ethiopia. There's another Ethiopia found in the writings of history. But he keeps saying, we have nothing to do with Ethiopia. But he tried to make it seem as we have nothing to do with Ethiopia at all, and he is very, uneducated on that. He is a novice on that subject, and he has no qualification to even speak on it. Because I have made that my subject. I went so far where I even learned the Greek language to know about the Ethiopians. Yeah, and I wanted to ask him, how does he explain Ethiopians dwelling south beyond the desert to the south, meaning far south beyond the desert, south of the Moors? Because he stood up there and say that Ethiopians only dwelt south of Egypt. So I want him to explain to me, how is south of the Moors is south of Egypt? Does he realize that the Moors or Morocco is 2,700 miles away from Egypt? It is far away from Egypt. And he will sit up there and say, well, the Ethiopians only dwelt south of Egypt. And he never shows the source. Everything he says, he makes up. He shows the source. And the reason why he is doing it, because his intention is to be dishonest. And I wanted to question him on that. But every time I went on his show to have a discussion with him about it, he pouted. He pouted like a little girl. He cowered out and he kicked me off. That's, I mean, he does that to a lot of people.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Even like about 2 years ago, I tried to join his channel one time, and he kicked me out when he was discussing Daniel's chapter 9. You know what I'm saying? I remember that conversation. He didn't like how I was breaking down scripture, so he kicked me off the live and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, because he tries to like compare us, okay, the real Kemetic community, or the people who actually claim ancient Egyptian lineage, and who actually know and believe and know that the Ethiopians also dwelt in West Africa. He tried to put us in the same category as the Black Hebrew Israelites. And he can't do that. He is wrong for doing that. Because I remember he had a Black Hebrew Israelite on his show named Gideon, and I debated Gideon before. I dealt with him on Chris Harris' show. I dealt with him on Lex Vortex show. And the guy is he's pseudo as hell. He's a very dishonest, lying pseudo scholar. But he was on Garfield show, and he showed Garfield an ancient historian or ancient Greek source by the name of Strabo, showing him, okay, Jews or Judeans in Jerusalem or Judea or in the Levant area. Okay,
Take away their phones. That's it for the rest of the night.
Yeah. So I'm like, I can go to the same source and show you Ethiopians in West Africa, but you sit up here entertaining this guy showing you Jews in Judea, which has nothing to do with West Africa. And that's why I say he cannot put us in the same category as the Hebrew Israelites. Even if you're going to say that it's non-biblical, fine, okay, but you can't associate, okay, the Bible with ancient historical texts, or the writings of the historical writers. You really can't do that. I mean, the Septuagint, and the other Bibles, they kind of put them two together, and it caused a lot of confusion. If you're gonna say Cush is Cush, then just leave it at Cush. Just say Cush is Cush. Okay. Try to leave Ethiopia out of it, because that's where the confusion starts. Okay, because according to the ancient historians, there were two Ethiopias. Okay, East Ethiopia, south of Egypt, and West Ethiopia, south of Libya. And that really has nothing to do with Cush. Cush is more of like East Ethiopia. But he's trying to say that Cush is all of Ethiopia, when that's not true. And if I ever and and that's why I was hoping he stayed on, because I was busy. But he always does that. He did that on another platform where this guy named Ma'at Forever. I told Ma'at Forever, to put the link in the chat so we can come on and address him. And he didn't want to put the link in the chat, and Garfield took off. But I wanted to show him the source, okay? Because he needs to see the source. The source needs to be right in front of him. Because
Shalom, Radio One. I think today he was on, or I think it was yesterday. And he was letting people come in and letting people talk. I guess at a certain time he'd be like that, but and then I think, believe it or not, I'm not even going to bash him. I believe that lately he's been letting people talk and bring out the sources. He humbled down and he was like, "Hey man, I just want to learn." He was saying, "I want anybody can go in there and see." The last one he just did, he like, "Yo, I'm not here to argue. People want to bring source, Let's talk." So man. It's something that he did in the past. Let's move forward on that. All right, brother.
But Garfield, he always does it. He always says that. Well, yeah, we gonna keep it calm. We're gonna have some decorum, But when he gets backed up in a corner and about to get cut and destroyed, then he starts acting up and kick you off. He always does that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, don't fall for that.
Come. Listen, Radio One. I agree with you on certain points when I see that he don't agree and he does kick people off. I seen that. I even told him that he was biased. On my Facebook because of that. But when you see somebody trying to change a little bit, just let's try to give him the benefit of the doubt because he ain't even here. All right, so I don't want you stressing over that. You know what I'm saying? You already proved your point though, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Me personally, man, I really don't want to even associate with him, man. But but I just rather, I rather bring out the truth on my platform, and teach the truth and entertain the truth on my platform. But but he's really because he has a big following, and they believe everything he say, even when he's dead wrong. They come on his channel and they play the get along game, and no one challenges him or really refutes him, but when someone actually does go in and do that, then that's when he starts acting up. But and that's why, man, like I really I don't even associate with none of those guys, man. I don't even bother going him signing the TV, man, because it's embarrassing, man. It is embarrassing to be associated with fakers and frauds like that. You sit up here talking about Hotep and you got the Ankh on your live stream and you talking about you represent Kemet, but you're saying we're not Ethiopians, we're not I'm not a descendant of Kemet. That's being fake, man.
Hey, he represent Kemet? I didn't even know that, man.
He claims to, but then he turn around and says, "No, we ain't no Kemet, we West and Central Africa." So I mean, the guy really don't know what the hell he is, and that's why I don't even associate with that, because I mean, it is embarrassing for me to be associated with fakers, man. I went on a lot of these guys' platforms, man, and I don't even go on there no more, man.
What's your belief, Radio One? Like, what's your belief as far as like the whole entire African American? Do you believe that different tribes? What is your belief, brother? I never knew. Yeah. I seen your video of yours, but you can you can share with me a little bit. What's your belief, brother?
Oh yes. No, not my belief, but my truth, my facts. Yeah, I don't believe I know, but based on my information, my truth, okay, African Americans are descendants of ancient Egyptians and native indigenous West Africans who were already there. Because when you go into the history and you go into the Bible, you clearly see these people were dwelling in the land extreme or far extreme southwest of Egypt, okay, which is the land of Western Ethiopia or the Western Ethiopians. They are found in the Siwa oases. They're found in the Western Desert, and they also found in Western Ethiopia. And as history tells it, because I'm speaking on sources, everything I say is based on sources. And these people from Egypt, from the city of Amun, okay, they're found all through West Africa. Okay, This is where they migrated at. But the thing is, when they are called a nation by the ancient historians, okay, Egyptians migrated west into Libya and into Western Ethiopia. But as a nation, they are called Libyans and Ethiopians. But they're not called Egyptian anymore. Why? Because these Egyptians who migrated there, okay, they migrated there, they settled amongst the Ethiopians and the Libyans there, mixed with them, and became Libyans and Ethiopians. And that's why you really don't see a continuation of the Egyptian culture, because when they migrated into these lands, they gave up Egypt. There was nothing more about Egypt about them. You know, they adopted the culture of the people who were already there, and they became, you know, the people who are already there. You know, some will think it's the opposite. Some will say, well, why we don't see any Egyptian Egyptian artifacts or any evidence proving that Egyptians was there, because the history does not say that. You're not going to find it, because the truth is in the text. And the text says that these Egyptians, when they migrated into these other parts of Africa, to the far southwest and to the far west, they became that nation. They were no longer called Egyptians, but their migration is spoken of. It says that the people in the west and southwest.
I got you, my brother. But I just want to ask you, like, you just believe they...
Hold on. Let me finish. It says the people in the southwest and the west, extreme southwest, in West Africa, were a colony of Egyptians that became an Ethiopian nation, and Libyan nation. So that is what the text is saying. So you're not going to find artifacts, but the truth is in the writings. Okay, like, okay, say for instance, you can find the Phoenician stone here in America. You can find like even maybe an Egyptian artifact in South Africa or somewhere, but you're not going to find it in the Egyptian writings. So it's the other way around. Okay, we are the people of the ancient writings. Our story is found in the ancient texts, not in material things or artifacts. And that's how the text tells it. Okay, and that's what people have to accept. Even the Bible says it. Egypt will be no more. The descendants of Egyptians were scattered and dispersed throughout the earth. Okay, in a desolate, dry land, and Egypt will be no more. And that shows we are the descendants. Yeah, go.
I got you,
go.
brother. Now I just want to have a little dialogue with you real quick. So you just believe y'all all just Egyptian? That's it. I mean, have you ever heard of the tribes that came on the Atlantic slave trade before? The Wolof tribe, the Fulasha, and the Igbo, Ashantis.
Yeah,
so you consider
Fulani,
all of them to be? You consider all of them tribes to be one person?
Yes, I consider them to be people who are already there, and these newcomers from the east. And these newcomers from the east were the Egyptians. Okay, and also when you pay attention to the records of the slave trade, you will clearly see that the slaves were seen as a distinguished race from the Africans who were selling them into slavery. Like for instance, Mungo Park, he mentions the Mandingos, he mentions the Fulanis, you know, he mentions all those tribes inhabiting West Africa, and he distinguishes the slaves from them. And the slaves came from the interior. Okay, and what is in the interior? The Niger River. And what was the Niger River formerly known as? It was known as the Nile River. Okay, so even during that time, 1,000 years ago and beyond that, the Niger River was called the Nile River. So if we say that we come from West Africa, then I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Because there was no West Africa during that time. It was called the Sudan, the Western Sudan, and the river was called the Nile. So how can you say it was West Africa when West Africa didn't even exist during that time? And even the Romans, according to them, the Africa they had knowledge of was in Tunisia, in Morocco, in their area. But the land to the south, they called the land of the Ethiopians. So if you really want to be real about it, okay, we can say that no, our ancestors did not come from West Africa. Our ancestors came from the Western Sudan. Okay, or our ancestors came from Western Ethiopia. And these guys, man, and these guys speak in English. They speak the white man's, they speak in the language of the slave master. English. None of this stuff has nothing to do with ancient texts. Fulani, Mandingo, Akan, all that's found in the English books. You can't find none of those names in any ancient text. So these guys they just repeating the lies of their slave master. And people listening to them, and people buying into this crap. These guys up here, man, they sell them, they up there lying their butts off. They can't speak the language, and they can't even tell the truth about what's written in the English. That's why I have no respect for these guys, man. That's why I don't even bother to click the link to go on their damn show. Because it's embarrassing to be associated with these guys. And don't get mad when Chief X say that you guys are faking. When you say you're not a descendant of ancient Egyptian, but you're claiming Kemet, you're faking. You don't claim the lineage. You fake. And all you got to do is know the history. And some of you guys sit up there and say, well, I'm a historian, but you can't answer the question on whether if you were a descendant of ancient Egyptian. You don't know who your ancient ancestors are, but you're calling yourself a historian. A real historian would know the answer to that question. And if you can't answer that question, you're not a historian. I'm sorry. And the truth is in the history. If you really knew the etymology of the word history, then you will know what I'm talking about. You guys are not historians. Most of them are agents. They're just repeating what their white slave masters are telling them. They're lying to our people. And that's why I refuse to go on their show and associate with them. Just like the real brothers, like Sarah Seti, Shaka Amos, they don't go on there no more. Because the show is full of fakers, frauds, and agents. Okay, you got this Negro, Rob Born or Rob Bum, whatever his name is. He's sitting up there, he teaching our people a fake history of West Africa. The fake history of West Africa that's written in English. God knows nothing. I mean, I'm just against all this madness, man. And like people are holding it against me for not buying into this mess. I don't believe in DNA. I don't believe in the modern day version of history. I believe in the ancient records. And these guys are lying. I mean, you can't, like, words like, even like archaeology. It's a Greek word. It derives from the Greek word archo in geology, which means ancient study or study of the past. These guys do not know what the hell they talking about, man. They are lying their butts off. And that's why I would never go on their show. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I stay on my own platform, and entertain the truth that they do not. You know, and I go on other platforms, you know, with people that I'm cool with, you know, and if I ever catch them on there, then I catch them, you know, I catch them off guard. I catch them where they're vulnerable at, because when they over there in their platform, you know, they can do whatever they want. They can kick you off, you know, and they can try to show out in front of their audience, you know. But hey, that's why I just do my thing, and I tell people, hey, if you want to know the truth of this, come to my platform. I'm going to entertain it. And like even when I do live streams, I put the link out. If anybody disagree, they can come right on. You know, but yeah, it is embarrassing to be associated with these guys, man. I mean, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, and they never show the source. They never show the source because their intention is to be dishonest. Like even 200,
Yeah.
300 years ago, I mean,
Hey, Garfield been showing his sources though.
what kind of sources?
No, I'm just saying though. That's what it been. You know, every time he been quoting something,
I mean,
you know, he
yeah,
been
I
showing
mean,
his real sources.
all he does is appeal to authority. Everything he says is based on some white man's opinion. You know, and when you try to call him out on that, you know, he gets mad and kick you off. You know, and it's a damn shame. You know, and you know, and everybody already knows that, you know, I'm not a believer of the Bible, you know, and you guys, the case you're making, you know, you got a strong case, because a lot of because like I said, you know, a lot of things that's in the Bible does not exactly correspond with what's written in history. You know, the historians, they knew nothing about Israel, you know, like the ancient historians, you know, they knew nothing about Mizraim. They knew nothing about Cush, none of that. You know, they just meant Egypt, Ethiopia, Phoenicians, you know, the ancient Greek historians, they had absolutely no idea, you know, of those places. You know, and it should be distinguished, you know, and that's where the confusion comes in at when you try to integrate, you know, with what's in the Bible and what's written by histories, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, these guys are lying. You know, all you got to do is show the source. The source speaks for itself. All you got to do is be honest and tell the truth, and that's what I do. You know, there's no way in hell you can tell me that the land south of the Moors is the same as south of Egypt. You know, and man, this is sad, man. It really is. You know, and these guys are ignoring history. They're clowning around. They're joking. You know, and they're not taking anything serious, and they're lying their butts off to the people. Like even the Hebrew Israelites, you know, and the modern day Egyptians, who say that, you know, they are the descendants of the ancient Egyptians. You can't prove that. It is impossible. You know, we that is a civilization that ended 2,000, 3,000 years ago. I mean, 2,500 years ago. And like, for you to prove that you are a descendant of Ramesses the third, or even a descendant of the last native Egyptian dynasty, you would have to show an unbroken lineage, you know, that started from there and continued on till now. They can't do that, because even after that, you had the Greeks, the Ptolemies came through there. You had the Roman dynasty. You had the Arab dynasty. You had the Turk dynasty. You had Muhammad Ali dynasty. These people don't know who the hell they are. You know, the last dynasty in Egypt recently was the Muhammad Ali dynasty. You know, before they start, you know, got off into modern day Egypt and the presidents and all that, but they didn't got nothing to do with ancient Egypt. If you're saying you're a descendant of a dynasty, where's your Medu Neter? You know, where's your ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics? Where's your descendant of Pharaoh? You know, because if you're saying you're a descendant of Ramesses II, then that's not fair to the actual person that was actually a descendant of Ramesses II, living close to his time. But you sitting up here saying 2,000 500 years later that you're a descendant of Ramesses II, knowing good well that your ancestors were most likely some Arabs who invaded Egypt 50 years ago. I mean these guys, man, they're ridiculous, man. They just make up stuff. They don't read, they don't study, they don't know the language. I mean, they just make up their own feel good history. And that's why, and they when I go on a platform, they try to make me out of the liar. They get aggressive with me, and I'm trying to teach them the truth. But they get mad and you start acting like a little girl, then they try to make me look like the liar and kick me off. Knowing good and well when they're the ones who lying. But yeah, man, I mean, it's very sad what's going on, man. And yeah, I mean, both of them are lying, man. I mean, I'm not on either side, man. The Black Hebrew Israelites are lying, and these guys from the fake Kemetic community is lying. They're fake, man. I mean, even some of these guys, man, check this out. Some of these guys were even ex-Hebrew Israelites. And when they were a Hebrew Israelite, they were claiming Hebrew Israelite all day. Oh, I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. But as soon as they switch over to the Kemetic side, all of a sudden, oh, I'm not an Egyptian. We're not Egyptians. We're not Kemetic. What's going on here? These guys are fake as hell. They don't belong in a Kemetic community. The real Kemetic community, we do not want you.
How do you feel about Shaka Outmost? I know he believes he's an Egyptian and he be dressing in an Egyptian attire and all that. Like, is that your friend or you know him?
Oh yeah. Yes, I conversed with Shaka almost a few times. Yeah, and he knows he's a descendant of the ancient Egyptians, and he does claim the ancient Egyptian lineage, and he's also aware of the historical facts that says that, so yeah. But yeah, Shaka almost, and even Sarwa Seti, he also believes, and that's why those real brothers like them, man, you don't see them on Sonata TV no more, because Sonata TV is full of agents and it's full of fakers and frauds, and it's real embarrassing to be associated with that. But yeah, like these guys, man, like these pseudo scholars, man, like this guy Asar Imhotep, another one named Ujawu or something like that. Yeah, those guys, yeah, they're fake too, man. They lie to the people.
What's his name? Jabari? Is he a Kemet also, or he believes he's Egyptian, or?
Yeah, he doesn't claim the ancient Egyptian lineage either. He says I'm a West and Central African. So but he calls himself a historian. But he's if he doesn't know the answer to that question, he's not a historian. Yeah, so he's lying to the people too, man, and he's confused too. So yeah, but but a lot of these guys, man, a lot of what they say is based on the sources they believe, man, on the on what they read, man. And a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with reality or with the ancient world or none of that, man. It's all made up. It's not supported by by ancient texts, ancient history, none of that. And yeah, and it's like and they all repeat the same thing. They all say we not Egyptian. I find something wrong with that. Lets me know that it's maybe they all got something. They all in it together, because they all say the same thing. And they don't understand ancient texts. They don't understand the history. Okay, the truth. Okay, the truth for that question is in the language that came right after the Medu Neter, and they don't understand it. And I believe they don't want to understand it. They just want to believe what the white man says. They want to get a pat on the head from the slave master. You know, they want to get a job well done from good old master. You know, and they want the white man to take them under his wing. You know, I mean, it's embarrassing, man, to be associated with those guys, man. And I just want to say that, man, because it's sad, man, because people don't know what's going on, man. I mean, these guys, just like I was saying before, man, when they were Hebrew Israelites, you know, they can be a Hebrew Israelite all day, you know, and damn well knowing damn well they can't prove it. But now they come over to the Kemetic side when the truth is right there in their face, but yet they say we're not Kemetic, we're not Egyptian. Something very wrong with that, you know, and yeah, but these guys, man, you know, and they talk about the history of West Africa, you know, and a lot of that stuff they talking about is made up, you know, because even like the oldest written text in West Africa that tells the history of West Africa is written in Arabic. It's written in Arabic. It's called the Tariq al-Fatah, in the Tariq al-Sudan. And even according to that, they say that their ancestors came from Yemen. You know, so I mean, but everything they're saying today is all made up. It's like, you know, they're making up their own history. It's not supported by any text. You know, and that's just what it is. You know, and that's why when they come up against somebody like me who don't believe in none of that, you know, they're gonna get a haymaker, because I'm gonna expose it for what it is. You know, because you can't tell ancient history from a modern day perspective. You just can't do that. Okay, and try to act like you was there 2,000 years ago, or the white man that you're quoting from trying to act like he was there 2,000 years ago. You know, like even archaeology. A lot of things that are said about archaeology is based on opinion. If that archaeological artifact does not have a written text on it, then what you say is based on opinion. It got to have a text. Even DNA, unless that dead body or that dead corpse left a text in his coffin saying where he came from, what you say about him is based on your opinion. That's why I don't believe in none of that, because it's all based on opinion and imagination. If it's not coming from the text, it is based on your opinion. And that's why I don't believe in this modern day pseudo white man's school or scholar teachings, you know, and I don't believe in DNA. Like even DNA, they try to use the word genetics, and not even knowing that the word genetics is an ancient Greek word. You know, it derives from genos. It's an ancient Greek word. It means race. So yeah, I mean, but I hear baby talking. Yeah, but you know, yeah, these guys, what they're saying is made up, man, and you know, and I'm not gonna go on their platform, man, because like I said, it's embarrassing, man, and they all gonna try to gang up against you, you know, and and root on their favorite, you know, even though he can, you know, he could be lying his butt off, but
Exactly.
yeah, it makes no sense, man. I mean, these guys do not go by the chronology. They don't go by the text. I mean, it's all made up, man. It's like, how can you sit up here and believe this stuff? You know, you're like, you can't just find an archaeological artifact with no text on it and just throw your opinion on it and call it fact. You know, like even in Egypt, you know, when they dig up artifacts, it always has some inscriptions on it, and the inscriptions on that artifact tells you what it's saying, and you have to go by that. But if you find an artifact with no writings on it, then you can make it whatever you want to make it. You know, and it's just your opinion. And that's what these guys are doing. They're making up history. You know, they're making up history, man. And you know, and concerning the Bible, you know, the Bible is really not a book of geography. That's why, like, a lot, you can really place it anywhere you want to place it. You know, because it doesn't mention the pyramids in Egypt. You know, all the monuments. You got to go to the ancient historians for that. You know, so that's why, you know, I
Hey,
really
brother,
don't.
let's. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we hear what you're saying, my boy. But let's try to keep the Bible out of it. All right, this, like, you know, we
Oh,
understand. I understand how you feel, but, you know, let's you feel me? I
oh,
understand you're
brother,
going through
brother,
something.
brother. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling you that the
We're
Bible
not
and
debating, right?
The Bible and history is to be distinguished. Okay, because when you try to mix the both, you know what the ancient historian said and what the Bible says, it creates confusion. So that's what I'm telling you. You know, and that's what Jose was trying to explain to him, that, you know, that when he was trying to make his case, that this place was in the Americas. You know, because if you're going to make up your own theories about the Bible and say that, you know, this is that, you know, or if you're going to add and take away from the Bible, you know, you're really no different from, you know, from the Hebrew Israelites. You got to tell it like it is. You got to tell it what it says. You know, and Jose was showing what it was says. He was making this case that, hey, this could not have been in the Levant. You know, but you gotta tell it like it is. And that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm not bashing on the Bible or anything like that, but I'm just telling you that I'm just telling you how
Do you read the hieroglyphics of Egypt?
I read some Medunetter. Yeah, Medunetter is a complicated language, but I read mostly Greek though. Yeah, but yeah, I read mostly
You do you know
Medunetter.
do you know what that says right there?
Yeah, that is Chehenu.
This is Chehenu.
Yeah,
You mean this is Chehenu right here?
no, that's not Chehenu. That's Nehesu. Yeah, yeah, that's but yeah, you know, but yeah, man. I mean, you know, you have to tell it like it is, man. You may take it as disrespect, but you know, you're really not paying attention to what I'm saying, bro. You
No,
know,
we're
you
not.
know,
Listen, I'm hearing you, brother. I'm just asking you a question about what you're studying right now. You know what I'm saying?
No,
This says
but he was telling you about the argument about you know, the geographical locations and how it's not matching up with the history, and how he was saying how I was bringing that up with Garfield. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was trying to tell, you know, been showing you brothers that, you know, according to a lot of these translations, whatever the case may be, like they're specifically just talking about the Americas. Because if you really notice, Garfield really didn't debunk my point about the Gopher's Wood, except that he tried to go to the Hebrew and try to say how it wasn't talking about the animal gopher. But at the end of the day, why would it even be talking about an animal? It's talking about the wood that was used to build the ark. I'm very sure it's not talking about using gopher's fur. You know what I'm saying? Like gopher's fur just started, like, you know, skinning freaking gophers and made the ark out of gopher's skin or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been a horrible uh, display. But at the end of the day, he can't get past the fact that certain translations just completely say the gophers would. And he was, oh, well, you can't do it because you're doing the English translation. I was like, all right, who cares if it's being translated into the English? Because English is English. England, and you know, you know, 1611 was written over there in England, right? Supposedly in, you know, Europe, whatever the case may be. Again, but what the hell does England have to do about the Americas? and mentioning things that only exist in the Americas. What is the 1611 mentioning corn, mentioning, you know, all this gopher's wood, mentioning tar, mentioning all these things I was bringing up? What does the language have to do with anything about about I'm showing you things that only exist over here in the America? Like he was trying to be slick with it. I'm like, bro, you're not answering the question though. I'm showing you things that can only exist in the Americas. I don't need to play language games because it don't matter if it's the English, whatever the case may be. These are animals. These are plant life, you know, and things of that nature. Can't get past that. Same thing with the argument in Deuteronomy, where you know the Most High talks about, you know, how he's going to make the land desolate, like a desert, but also plague the land, you know, strike the land with salt. Like, bro, like I even told him, I was like, bro, show me that. I challenge anybody to show me what in the Levant or Lebanon where there's desert and salt on the ground, bro. It's either I keep telling people, it's either you, if you guys believe in the Bible and what our ancestors said, what the land was look like, or you don't. Like people people like Yehudium and these, you know, these clowns that, you know, that you have these certain Black Hebrew Israelites that are teaching that Israel is actually in South Africa by the what's that desert, Malak, the Sahara Desert, is that it, is that what they call it?
No, I'm not.
What's that desert right there all the way in South Africa, Radio One? It's like something like the Sahari or Kahari or something like that, I forget.
Man, yeah, it's off the top of my head. I kind of forgot. Yeah, right, you're close though. You're close.
I know. I think I'm saying it close. Yeah, it's something like that, like Sahari Desert or something like that. But they claim it's over there. But the thing is, I tell them all the time, it's like, bro, the scriptures talks about two rivers that connect to a salt sea. Bro, there is no salt sea that runs through South Africa anywhere, bro.
Yeah, and like even like the ancient historians, you know, they tell you that, you know, Ethiopia was south of Egypt. The Ethiopians dwelt there's a word for it. The word they use is notos. You know, they say Ethiops, notos, you know, libus or Egyptos. The Ethiopians, Ethiopian, Okiomene Notos Egyptos, meaning the Ethiopians dwelling south of Egypt or south of Libya. It says that. It has a word for it. You know, but in the Bible it doesn't say, you know, Cush. It doesn't say Cush is south of Egypt or Libya is to the west. It doesn't give a direction. You know, and you know, and like, well, what they say, they really is coming from the ancient historians, or they added on to it. You know, but the ancient historians, they actually gave a direction of where these places were. You know, they actually used the words for south, east, north, and west. You know, and sometimes they even be more specific. They say escados eos, meaning extreme east. You know, and they say they add the word extreme, meaning the farthest land in that direction. You know, so that's why I say, like, it's the ancient, the writings of the ancient historians is it differs from the Bible. You know, and when you try to mix the two, you know, you're going to create some confusion. You know, but you know that's why, you know, I don't. That's why I believe in history. You know, that's my thing. You know, that's my first love. So, you know, but you know, and so far as like bashing the Bible, you know, I don't have to bash the Bible. It's uncalled for. You know, why would I do that? You know, but but my duty is to tell history. You know, and a lot of these guys, man, they don't know what history is, man. They skip over history, man. And that's how I know, man, because what they're teaching is not supported by history. They don't. That's why they never entertain real history. But they just, they just repeat what their, what their white slave master is telling them, and it's crazy, man. I mean, the stuff I hear, man, it's like I'm sitting up there like, what the hell is he talking about? And that's why, yeah, but yeah, I'm just comfortable where I'm at, man. I can't associate with those guys, man. It's hard. It's real hard finding someone in the Kemetic community that's real and solid, genuine, and honest, man. Because a lot of these guys I ran into, man, it's like most of them, if not all of them, are just fake, man. They're just fake, man, and like they're scared to have they scared to have the conversation, and when you do it, talk about the conversation, they act real funny and they get real uncomfortable. They show their agent like behavior, and something is very wrong with those guys, man. Something very wrong with them, and that's why I refuse to be associated with them. It's like they just they just rearranged the whole history, man. It's like, well, what ancient texts say don't even matter anymore. That
Exactly. That's what I would
man,
try to tell people, bro. Exactly. It's like why are we relying on what the people in ancient times were describing the lands to look like? Why are we going by today's maps? You know what I'm saying? Oh, this location is here or this location is there. To me, it's like, come on, man.
yeah,
Anybody could put things on a map, bro. Like they say Egypt's over there. I can show you maps of Egypt being over here in the Americas. Just because I can show you maps of Egypt being over here in Florida or Egypt being over there in California or Egypt being some other location because some map says so, doesn't make it proof. And the people have to realize this stuff.
yeah, indeed, man. And it's all coming from the racist, dishonest white man. Yeah, because the white man, it's like he's been trying to claim Egypt for the longest, man. Like he wants to claim all these identities, man, and knowing damn well it has nothing to do with him, man. We know who his ancestors were. They were called the Celts. They were called the Iberians. The Britons. The Germanics. That's who his historical ancestors were. We know who they are. So this lying and trying to claim Egypt and all that, they need to stop it because they have no connection to Egypt. That's who their real ancestors are, man. The Iberians, the Germanics, the Celts, the Western Europeans. We know who they are. So and they need to stop trying to steal our identity. We know our ancestors were the Ethiopians, and we were related to the people south of Egypt. See, but even them, even though their ancestors were the Western Europeans, they can't even prove that they were related to the Greeks and Romans, although they were Europeans. But we have a direct relation to the people of Cush, south of Egypt, because we're both called Ethiopians. We had the same name, the same title. But they can't do that. They can't even do that with the Greeks and Romans. But yet they want to sit up here, and send all these Negroes out here and tell this fake history, talking about we this and that, and just ignoring the truth that's right there in their face. And I'm just and also I'm getting back started. I've been out for a while, but yeah, I just released a video called Ancient Ethiopians in Sub-Saharan Africa. Both of my channels, Pharaoh Mitzrahim Radio 1. And I'll show where this white woman, she lied on this channel saying that Ethiopians were the black people in North Africa. And she tried to cover up the fact that the Egyptians were the black people in North Africa. And I showed that the Ethiopians were the people dwelling in sub-Saharan Africa, but she tried to be slick because she wanted to take sub-Saharan Africans and the ancestors of African Americans out of history instead of tell the truth, and that's what I'm focusing on, and I also did a video about, the ancient Libyans in North Africa, and I'm showing videos on my Patreon. I'm charging for those videos. I'm translating what the ancient Greek text says, and I'm connecting it with the Medu Neter, also translating the Medu Neter language, and showing the ancient connection between Kemet and West Africa, which some of these guys can't do. They go to what West African historians are saying. West African historians who live in the day, you can't do that. You can't ignore what the ancient sources are saying and get modern day opinions. And that's what these guys are doing. That's why they're lying. And that's why I tell people that I'm not even a scholar. Call me a historian. Because a lot of these scholars are lying. These are the, your Uncle Tom, bourgeoisie Negroes who sit up in the school system and, wine and dine and laugh with white folks, and they always hang around white folks, and they always trying to please white folks, and that's what they do, man. And as soon as I see a Negro like that, man, I'm not going to believe the first word that come out of his mouth, because you associating with, you're associating with the enemy, and and whatever you say is going to be for the benefit of him, and you're going to try to please him, so don't sit up here and tell me you're teaching Black history, okay, but you're behind closed doors laughing and whining and dining with the enemy, and that's all these guys do, man. They hang around white folks and they repeat what white folks tell them, like good old slave boys. That's what they are, man. And it's sad, man. I mean, like even the Hebrew Israelites, man, what they say is based on lies. They're not telling the truth, but goddamn, they stand strong on that lie. But these guys, man, they got the truth right in their face and they don't want to accept it. There's some strange, I don't want to curse. It's some strange things going on, man, with these guys, man. And when they actually engage in a conversation and things get real, they get real uncomfortable and they don't want to talk about it. And it just goes to show you, man, that hey, something wrong with them, and they're not ready, man. They're not ready to accept the truth, and they're not ready to to gain power. Because if you're not serious about claiming ancient Egypt, then that tells me you're not serious about claiming power. Because that's who the white man is champion, trying to champion himself off of the ancient Egyptians. That's why you see that ancient Egyptian monument in Washington D.C. Because they're trying to steal our identity. But yeah, but yeah, I'm getting back into it, man, and yeah, and hopefully I'll catch these guys on some other platforms and we can engage there, man. But I'm not going on their platform, man. It has nothing to do with fear, because I fear none of them. But it's like I can't do it because it's embarrassing. If I'm gonna sit there and be buddy with you, man, like you got to be real, man. Like we gotta both, believe in the same truth, So and that's just how it is with me, man. I see myself as royalty, man. You got this guy Mahdi Hebrew. He's claiming to be a prince. That Negro is not a prince. He's a fraud. And but that's yeah, man. That's why it has nothing to do with fear, man. Like, and I'll be wanting to go on there so bad, and just go at it with them, man. But I can't do it, man, because yeah, it's I just can't. I can't associate with fakery, man. I just can't. Yeah, that just that's just a promise that I had established with myself, man. I'm not going to associate with these fakers, man, because it makes me look bad and it's embarrassing, man. and it's not about the fame and all that, man. But yeah, like if it was back in the days when the real brothers was on there, like Sarwa Sunseri and Shaka Amos, before all these fakers and frauds came on there, then maybe I would have went on there, and kicked it with them. But yeah, man, but I can't, man. Yeah, it's too embarrassing, man. And I mean, because it's a shame, man. But you're gonna reject and ignore who your real ancestors are, man, and you're just gonna let the modern Egyptians, the Arab Egyptians, steal your culture, and just keep this lie up and continue to be on the bottom. It's crazy, And I hear Garfield say that, we got in the condition we in because of the curse of Ham. And you know why? The real reason why they had to stop calling us Hamites is because they found out how great the history of the Hamites is. And when they found that out, that's when they said, hey, yeah, we got to stop calling them Hamites, because they were not cursed. They were actually a blessed people. They actually had empires, and they found out who the Hamites were. This is coming from me, not Garfield. Don't believe Garfield. Garfield is a liar. Garfield is full of crap. He's full of what. So you can come to me and get the truth. Okay? If you want the lie, you go to him. Okay? But yeah, and and that's why he tried to say, we got to stay because of this. But yet he will sit up there and say, well, Ham only has to do with Egypt and their area. But hold up. But you just said the Ham thing was a lie. So you're saying that it don't exist, but it exists at the same time. It don't exist when it applies to us, but it exists when you're trying to connect it with Egypt and East Africa. He forgets about what Josephus says, which is the sole authority on the geography of the Table of Nations, when he puts the Hamites in West Africa. He that. But that's the Bible. That's why like I really don't engage in when people have conversations about the Bible. I just sit back and let them, but when it comes to history and all that, that's when that's when you hear me speak out. But yeah, man, a lot of people claiming, man, there's so much truth coming out and all this information coming out, man. But damn, but like a lot of stuff they believe is, the majority of it is lies. Very little of it is truth. Like, Sister Naftali, man. I mean, I was over there, man, and it's like a lot of stuff they say, man, is just they're lying and they contradicting themselves. And it's like, and they just avoiding who they are, and it's crazy, man. But yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna be too long because yeah, I'm gonna watch a movie with my kids, but yeah, man, yeah, I just wish I could have brought out the source, and showed, because once you bring out that source, man, it destroys them, man. You share that screen and show them the source, and sometimes they they would still be in denial and try to lie about it, but yeah, but bring that source, yeah, show that source, man, and it destroys their whole argument, man. But that's why they use they slick debate tactics, but yeah, I mean, but once if you got the truth on your side, none of that stuff matters, man. All those slick debate tactics, man. I mean, liars do it all the time, but once you got the truth, none of that crap gonna work, man. The truth always wins. The truth always wins over debate skills. Debate skills will never defeat the truth. You can come up with all the tactics and and the slick skills and tricks all you want, but yeah, it's never gonna win against the truth. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I just wanted to say that, man. A lot of what these guys are saying is made up history. Yeah, I mean, it's made up history, man, and they really don't get called out for it. They never get called out for it. And that's why I don't even associate with them, man. I just let them talk their nonsense. I just rather sit back and let them talk their nonsense. And don't even engage with them. You know, yeah, because it'll be I'll embarrass myself even more just being seen with them, man. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know,
And the funny thing is that it's back to the thing about Garfield, right? About what transpired earlier. You know what I'm saying, about how he was trying to show linguistics to basically go against those stones I was basically showing, right? But the point is this, right? And this is what a lot of people didn't really notice. You know what I'm saying? And I'll bring it up another time. You know, to Garfield, but I should have brought it out when he was saying it. Um, but both my article and the article that he read, right, that these stones were taken to the place of Israel, right, to be tested to see if they were authentic, right. The point was this, and people didn't realize this, is that the reason why they asked for those stones is because you had these people arguing or having the discussions if these stones were Hebrew stones, right? So the reason why they brought it over there to Israel is to find out, hey, are these real Hebrew stones? And the scientists that studied that stone didn't say. Notice this. Notice that person didn't say that it wasn't Hebrew. All she said is that yes, these stones are authentic and they are real. But again, the reason why they took it in the first place was to see if the rumors were right about if these were Hebrew.
yeah. I saw that. Yeah, he didn't even want to take into
Like, like, like,
consideration what
like,
you were
if,
saying.
if that's what I'm saying. Like right there, like that scientist is the proof. She's basically, what I'm saying, that's the reason why they asked for that stones to see if the rumors were true. Were these actual Hebrew stones? And she said, yes, they were. They were authentic. They were real. They date back to around whatever 900 BC to 900 AD, like he mentioned himself. So yes,
Yeah,
never did she say that. No, these are not Hebrew stones or stuff like that. She never said that. So that right there was the evidence. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing
yeah,
is that, and this is, I even brought up the point of reading the article from our chief. I mean, from the chief of the Tainos, one of the chiefs of Chief Joseph, of him saying the oral traditions of how these people were called Hibaros, right? And we brought up the
hmm
point how Dr. I don't know if you saw the earlier of Dr. Clark, I believe his name, when he was doing his presentation on the Egyptian walls about the Hibaros, right, which were Hebrews. So
yeah,
not only do we see Hebrews being called that on the island of Puerto Rico, but I should have brought this out also about even some words in the Taino language or even Arabic. There's certain words that go back to being Shemitic language and even meaning the
yeah,
same, even actually meaning not only just like the same word, but also meaning the same definition as in Arabic. So
mm,
right there would have been a perfect example to show even more proof, what I'm saying? But I should have brought that part out at least about the language and
yeah,
back to the east, because he would have had to explain why certain Taino words are going back to Aramaic.
yeah, indeed. But yeah, man, I gotta take off, man. But yeah, I'm gonna leave out with saying, man, if I ever debate these guys, man, they're in big trouble. But if I don't, hey, then hey, let them forever hold their peace and forever live their lie. But but yeah, man. Yeah, I got to take off now, but I can catch the rest of the show later. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
I
probably
thought you
listen to
did.
it.
Yeah, man, yeah, man. But yeah, I thought you did a good job breaking down your case, man. But but he didn't want to hear it. like anything else, he don't want, because he think he knows everything. He always think he's right, but truth be told, he don't know a damn thing, and he needs to sit back, shut up, and listen, But but he gonna be who he is, But long as you bring, long as you bring your truth out, you doing your part, But yeah, peace, brother, Jose, and peace, everybody on the panel. I'm about to take off, so yeah, peace. I'm out.
All right, man. Shalom, bro.
All right, peace.
Ben Cuevas, you been there? I don't know. I don't know. Your stuff has been stuck on. I don't know. But yeah, I dropped the link. Anybody want to jump on? If not, I'm about to end the live. Hope you brothers and sisters enjoy the conversation. Hopefully, the brother Garfield will come back on. I'll probably get on his channel and probably do further discussions, possibility. But hope you brothers and sisters enjoyed. Shalom. Thanks, Malak, for stopping in. Bro, Mashiach, bro. Bro, you've been going crazy on the combat board, bro. What's good? I believe you're speaking in origins. I think I'm speaking about the Tainos with authority. As you can tell me. All right, hold on. It says, I don't know, bro. I see. I guess you must know the brother Garfield, huh? Seems like you watched some of his stuff. Shalom, brother Ray, man. Thanks for tuning in, brother Joey Ray. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Tommy, you should have joined on the conversation, bro. Shalom, brother Rudy. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Salome Vega. Thanks for tuning in, bro. I guess with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Oh yeah, brother Emac. Thanks for joining in earlier, man. You really didn't get a chance to speak. I don't know what happened. You dropped off.